For those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening. Tonight, we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, and I think we can almost... Wait, can we all... Oh, Hobbs, yours is still gonna... Your new one's gotta come to you. We can almost all hold up our copies now, thanks to our generous patrons. So John has misplaced his copy.
It's on my kitchen table.
Why would you need it for a game? I don't know.
Wait!
There you go.
Oh, you can't see mine.
I really can't see it at all. So we're playing AD&D 2nd Edition, playing through the classic Night Below campaign. Wow. Written by Carl Sargent. And with me today are the stars of the Night Below campaign for session 47 of the ongoing game. First up, I've got John. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently?
Hey everyone, I am John. I am playing Dorman Kettleborn. He is an illusionist thief, and he's level 4. Soon to jump to 6 if I get enough gold.
Nice. Excellent. Next up is the man himself, the host of Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood, Jason Hobbs.
Well, in the middle, this is weird for me. Hey, everybody. I am Jason Hobbs, and I am playing Elanion Elandin, a savage earth elementalist of the 4th Circle.
Very cool.
Muted on the Gamerhood, so no one got to hear that.
There you go. Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Bergour, who is a dwarven fighter of the 5th level.
Ooh, very nice. Next up is Dave.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I'm playing the somewhat surly dwarf Druin Axebrother. He's a 4th level fighter and 4th level specialty priest of Clankadin Silverbeard, the father of battle, lord of the twin axes, giant killer, Goblin's Bane, the Worm Slayer, and the Rock of Battle.
Very nice. And last but not least is Jeffrey.
With a bunch of camera problems. Sunshine.
Coming to you from sunny Manitoba.
Yes.
I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Calidor. He is a 4th level elven fighter thief.
Nice. So, last session was quite a bit of a knockdown, drag-out fight. Literally, in the sense that some of you were knocked down and then dragged out of the of your camp. What happened last session, guys?
Got to play around with some grapple rules is what happened. Mostly you got to play with them. I got to experience them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really work too well for any of us.
Bergour and Druin did pretty well.
Did they?
I didn't grapple anybody. I just smashed people with axes.
That's what happens when you're trying to wrestle with something 3 times your mass or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 times mine, I suppose.
Yeah.
More, but Dorman's pretty rotund, so.
Mm-hmm. So what the broad strokes of what happened last time were that our heroes, after 2 sessions ago, after Calidor consumed a what seemed to be a tainted drink, he got bugbear roofied, I guess, that he had some kind of dream where he ended up seeing some kind of or hearing some kind of form off in the darkness, deep underground, in a underground lake of some kind. Something very similar to what his brother had experienced when he drank this potion that smelled identical to what the drink was that Calidor had. After doing so, Calidor woke up and then seemingly attacked Elanion. And while that was going on, the rest of the group realized that the bugbears, who they had made a tentative alliance with, had all started going in to attack our heroes as well. So, and they had also... Do you guys remember what the leader called out before they all came charging in?
Get the spell checkers. Kill the rest.
Yes, he did. And it seemed like almost every one of our mages, with the exception of our elementalist, were dragged down and then, or either knocked out. Although one of the player characters was not knocked out by a bugbear. So the Fortunately, our heroes proved to be of sterner stuff than these bugbears, kicked the shit out of those guys, and managed to rescue their captured allies. And in the course of doing that, they drove off as well the rest of the bugbear camp. So there still is a fairly sizable amount of bugbears lurking out there somewhere. But we're going to pick up our session pretty much immediately afterwards. Now, we said on the Discord server, I posted what the loot was for the bugbear camp, but let's just go through what that is in the event that you guys missed it, and for the benefit of the folks listening at home. So within that that structure, the tent that you guys have labeled the plunder tent, what you found was the spellbook of your new found ally Carrick, the blade dancer. You also found 3 other spellbooks of some kind, and there was various sort of different looks to them, to the outside of them, but you would need to cast Read Magic before you can actually identify what the spells are within. But also in there you found 2 massive 40-pound wooden chests, each of which had about, let's see here, 6,700 coins. And the total haul was 6,000 copper pieces, 3,000 silver pieces, 1,800 gold pieces, and 600 platinum, as well as 8 jades that were each worth 100 GP. And then there were 3 unusual precious objects that were stuffed in those boxes as well. One was the silver holy symbol of Farlon, and you guys may remember Farlon is that god of travel, and the priest who had gone missing, who frequented the region quite often. He was a priest of Farlon. There was also an ancient crystal medallion with a diamond set into it. I didn't mention it, but I think that you guys, if you thought, boy, I wonder if that was made by the same elves. Does seem to be of elven make. And the final thing they found was a dragon bone ring with inset platinum. And those 3 things were worth 200 for the holy symbol, 2,000 for the ancient crystal medallion, and then 1,200 for the dragon bone ring. In addition to that, you guys found a collection of 3 arcane scrolls, but you couldn't identify what those were until you cast Read Magic. But you did find 3 divine scrolls with Command, Endure Heat and Cold, and Sanctuary on them. Priest spells do not require you to cast Read Magic, because priests can't cast Read Magic. But any priest, so Druin, you can, even though these may have been penned by some other priest who worship some other god, you know, if you were to try and interpret them, do you have you got a religion proficiency, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, give me a religion check. I'm going to give you a +2 to that as well too. Oh, big success. Yeah. So the perhaps unsurprisingly, it would have been a priest of Farlon who created these.
Which makes sense.
The other 3 things you found, which because we're using the new cantrip rules, I'm assuming that someone was able to identify what you found were 3 magical items. One of them was a large shield that was crafted by the dark dwarves of Bergour, who normal mountain dwarves and hill dwarves don't speak of that evil, their evil kin. It is adorned with images of war. So it's got a magic aura, and it is a large shield. So it gives you 14 pounds, +2 AC, and +3 versus missile weapons. You also found a great axe, also crafted by the Bergour, and it has the name of a long-dead princess on it. That also has a magical aura, and I put the stats for that in the Discord server as well. And the last thing you found was a bastard sword, seemingly crafted by an elven smith, which bears the markings of an elven noble house. It may have been something that belonged to one of Carrick's allies. So all 3 of those things, you can assume because it's magical that it's at least a +1 bonus, and then we'll talk about what they, once you cast Identify on them or have them identified, then you can know what other things they may be. They may have a bonus that's bigger than that. They may have other special abilities, but you won't know that until you cast those spells. So that's what you found in there. The weight of those coins alone is about, what did I say, 150 something pounds, 154 pounds. 154 pounds. Look at that. Each of them.
Knox, we need you to
Shit.
carry some stuff.
Yeah, so each of the chests is 154 pounds, so it's 308 combined. So these bugbears have clearly been busy. Now, what are you guys thinking here? This is still, it was a couple hours off from dawn, because I think we rolled 2 sessions ago that Elanion was one of the last ones on watch. It's not your last watch, but it's getting there. And that means that dawn will be coming soon, but the bugbears have only, minutes ago fled off into the, we'll say maybe like 45 minutes ago, as you guys were searching through Plunder Tent. They went running off, and Lord knows what they're, planning on doing next. So, what are you guys thinking here?
Well, Calidor's thinking about burning all their tents and crap down.
So, is it important to recognize that only the fishy bugbears went against us, and some of the others didn't?
No, they all stank. There was 20
They all
vials. I can't remember if I put it in Discord or not.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also 20 vials of that same fishy-smelling liquid as well.
What I mean is not all the bugbears actually attacked us.
But all the ones who are smelling fishy.
Yeah, so it could be a separate thing. All the ones that attacked you did definitely stink of fish, but you didn't smell all of the bugbears necessarily.
Right.
I just think it's interesting that they didn't all attack, right? That seems to have. I mean,
It's like part of them had a special agenda to get the spell checkers.
Do you guys remember any of the goblins stinking of the same thing?
I remember the orcs.
no, goblins did too. I don't
Yeah,
know if it was
couple-
the woad ones or the non-woad ones.
I think it was the woad ones.
Actually, it's none of them. It's a trick question.
Yeah,
The
I was
only one-
gonna say I didn't remember that.
Yeah, the bugbear.
Oh,
The
Yeah, they
bugbear.
had the stuff, but not the actual smell.
but we decided it was
Oh.
only the bugbear that had it.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was correct.
Right. Wonder if he was one of these.
I remember when we found him because I almost died of poison because I didn't check the damn lockbox for a dart.
But look at the cautionary tale it served as. It's a lesson learned hard, but definitely learned.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely could have been a member of the same group.
I would guess that he is, but I think it's weird that all the plunder from the mages is down here. I thought it would be at the divide or whatever.
The Great Rock Dale, you mean?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
I've never gotten that name right.
No. Once you get your wall map, I'm sure it'll help with a reminder.
Yes. So, but does that matter? I mean, our whole point of coming here was actually trying to get an allies against the Knolls, but that didn't work.
No,
But we got a
clearly
bunch of
they're a
treasure.
bunch of traitorous, evil jerks.
Well, we knew that.
So,
We knew that going in.
Yeah.
That's
great.
That's no
Let's
surprise, but-
destroy their camp, take their treasure, and
where are we gonna take it?
Our camp.
Okay.
well, I mean, I guess for now we almost have to like take it the long way down after we deal with the Knolls. Like, so we need to find somewhere to stash it, basically.
What's everyone's encumbrance looking like right now?
Before we start piling on all this crap?
Yeah, because I mean, well, I guess like the elves are the ones who, if they're slowed down, it's not going to matter as much because they move twice as fast as the rest of you guys. The dwarves and the gnomes will move substantially slower.
Yeah, I'll be reduced.
So we
to
just
one,
get the
so-
elves to carry
Where's
everything.
the- I'm only at the first. I'm not at light encumbrance yet.
Okay.
I only have
Right.
42. I have 42 pounds of, and
The character sheet's broken in as far as that goes, though.
what do you mean?
It totals up your gear, and gives you your total weapon weight, but the total weight on my sheet is not adding up the 2 boxes.
Oh.
So I have to manually add your total weight.
To your what? Oh,
Your total gear and your total weight should add up together to become your
Oh, it
total
doesn't add
weapon
your
and total
weapons.
gear.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah.
So
Right.
like I'm under the first level of encumbrance right now by like 2 pounds, but
Yeah, that's about where I am too. So
Same.
hypothetically, like Druin and I could each grab one side of a chest, but that would be us moving. That would still be us moving at about half speed, I think.
Dorman, you're not. I mean, you're not like getting a strength bonus, but you're still quite strong. How you must be fairly far under.
I got a 15 strength. I'm just under that bit. I could carry one of these myself and be severely encumbered, but I could still move.
So, as a reminder, too, the spell books, each of those is 20 pounds, too. So, it's 60 pounds for those. I'm not going to count, and then the weight of the weapons. I won't worry about the... Yeah, I have not added weight for the gems, because it's inconsequential, or for the art items that you guys found, or those things. It's just the coins and the box that I've weighed out.
George, can we use Knox as a pack mule? Yeah? Okay.
So wait, when?
So we have 34 pounds of weapons,
Mm-hmm.
Bergour's going to do some math for us.
60
Pounds
pounds
of books.
Of spell books.
I'm just not very strong, so even though I'm not currently encumbered, my like little weight
for
things are very small.
Right.
2 chests of coins. Does the 154 include the weight of the chest, or is
It does.
just
That's
the weapon?
coins and chest.
Coins and chest.
So
Okay.
And assume that the what do you call it? The holy symbol, the ring, and the necklace thing. Those are all in the chest as well.
Yeah. So, with just the 5 of us, seems like we're definitely going to be traveling at
really slow.
the reduced dwarf rate, no matter what. Right?
Yeah.
Because Elanion and Calidor, between the 2 of them, can't carry both chests and still move at
No,
a good rate.
no,
Right.
no.
So
Or
if-
move. Period.
Or move, period.
I could move.
Yeah,
How
Lane's
much
quite.
does the chest weigh?
I think every single one of you guys rolled pretty well for your strength. Like, you're a
That's
beefy
it.
group, yeah.
It's important for carrying loot, though. That's really why it all happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are,
We knew that all the creatures we were going to fight aren't going to have gems. They're going to have fucking piles of copper.
all right, so I think you had a good idea. We should carry the stuff back to our camp, right?
Yeah.
We should carry our stuff back to camp. Elanion will lead the way a couple hundred yards ahead because I can be nearly invisible, and you guys will bring the stuff, and I'll try and lead a path for us.
Yeah, between me and Calidor, I think we can handle one of those chests.
Okay, and then we're going to split up the.
You ever try to
the
move
90
furniture with someone who's substantially shorter than you? 'Cause-
Yes.
It's either that,
Yeah.
Calidor and Elanion handle it, and I go ahead. But
Well, do you still have a casting?
I can literally be invisible. So
And do we trust Dorman enough with that responsibility?
But not
Yeah.
silent.
yeah, I guess
As
like
long as
in
it doesn't color spray me.
move silently.
But your move silent would make you move half the speed that I move.
Well, but the party is going to move
yeah.
real slow anyway, right?
what's the movement rate that you guys would be traveling at then?
We'd be traveling at, I think,
Not your combat move, just your move.
I'll be-
speed of 3.
3.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if you're moving at a 3, then
All day.
Then
that's
I
what
can
his
keep up easily. Yeah.
his move silent rate is that slow
Great.
anyway. Are you guys able to move to split that stuff like between the spellbooks and the? You can assume that you can find some carrying stuff around here too. Like they're not very nice and they're probably oversized. You'll need to like make some adjustments to the straps and stuff like that. But you'll be able to find that shit in here if you
Well,
guys
I got
want to.
I got to use rope skill that I could help bundle everything up with and tie it down.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
So-
fantastic. So
So
you
what
can
is
get.
that total then?
So we'll say it's 94 pounds per person for one pair And what
So
is
it's
150?
402 pounds total. And so we say we approximately divide that by 5. Then everybody's adding about 80 pounds. Just as long as it won't work out exactly like that.
Okay.
But
Well then,
Yeah, because if
like,
you
so the
all
guys
of
who are
that-
carrying chests aren't going to carry spell books and weapons on top of that because it's just too much.
Well, I could. Well,
how much can you carry, Dorman?
without slowing down too much, if I get more than 50 more pounds, I'll be at like moving 2 speed if I move silently.
So you carry us 2 spell books and one of the weapons,
I could do that.
and
Okay.
that keeps you in your range.
Yep.
And then Elanion carries another spell book and a weapon, or a 1 spell book, and Calor carries a weapon, and then those 2 share a chest.
What speed are we trying to stick to?
we're trying to stick to speed 3 at least, because
What's
that's
speed 3?
speed 3 is moderate encumbrance for dwarves, and I don't know what it
Okay,
is.
so
in-
my speed is 20 in that situation.
That's
yeah.
10 for us.
No,
It's 10.
Okay.
3. Yours would be 12. Like, you're talking about the move stat. The AD&D move stat, not your combat move. Your move stat is a 12, Elanion.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So,
So-
should I put a 12 in here? So,
So
my
it would be a-
base is 12.
Your base is a 12, yeah. And then your combat
Lightly
move...
encumbers is 8.
Yeah.
Moderate is 6.
Okay.
Heavy is 3.
So are you guys spending any time resting any further, or are you just grabbing your shit, grabbing this stuff, and then hitting the road?
Druin cast his last healing on himself,
Okay.
so he's kind of banged up.
Okay.
Mhm. I don't think I'd need to rest. Because I still got the 1 spell I need, and 1 enlarge left.
I say we get out of dodge.
I think I've got 4 spells left. Yeah, I'd keep going. I don't need to rest.
Because I mean, there's a dozen.
Yeah, once these
bugbears that can
bugbears collect themselves, they're going to be
And
serious
come
trouble.
back here, and
Yeah.
then when they come back here, we'll.
Yeah. And they're...
So did
remember the-
Serene go out to the? Serene left the camp, right?
Yeah, Serene
Yeah, she
headed
went
back
back
to go
Targ.
and check with the Aarakocra.
Okay.
So another idea I have is that if we wanted to time the setting on fire and set the loot tent on fire in such a way that perhaps it wasn't obvious that the loot was all gone, that might slow them down to put it out and then find out, oh no, all our stuff is taken, even though we put out the fire to save the important stuff.
Good idea. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we fill it full of crap, barrel full of rocks, that kind of thing.
Or just drag like a bugbear body or 2 in there so that it's kind of a lumpy shape.
Right. Throw some wood in, throw some
Yeah.
branches, turn it into a big pier.
You do have quite a few bugbear corpses to choose from here at this point.
I go back and get my battle axe and my hand axe that I threw.
Okay.
And
I think I can carry almost 100 pounds and be at 3.
Well, between you and Calidor, you guys have that chest. You're at 75, 78 there.
So you could use... I'm sorry, I'm taking a look at the cantrip rules. You could use your cantrip to start a fire. So, even if you guys... I'm sure you guys probably have the... what do you call it? Like flint and tinder on you, but if you want to
Wait,
just...
is that
it's
fishy stuff flammable?
which the tent is. The tent will be.
Yeah, but is the fishy stuff flammable? We should burn all that shit too.
I'm not sure you guys have tried exposing it to fire.
Let's try.
Well, we can start the tent and like toss one on there and see if that.
You all be mind controlled. I love it.
Nope, I'm gonna be away from
Mind,
that.
mind control
only
gas.
mind controlled as the thing that's in there aerosolizes when it boils.
Oh, where's that Elanion? Let's get him.
So,
All right.
That cantrip skill. I don't have the source for it. What's the?
If you take a look at the most recent house rules.
I do. It says we're using it from an old Dragon magazine, but it doesn't spell it out, does it?
Yeah.
Did you update the new 6 one or?
Yeah, number 6, house rules draft 6 has those in there.
Don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
go right
I
to
think
the
it
back.
was a 6.1. It was like a most recent edit.
Oh, okay. I'll look again.
It doesn't say 6.1, but
Yeah, I think. Well, it's the file you're looking for is a PDF that's House Rules Madison Draft 6.
Yeah, I've got that one, but the only mention I see of it is we're using it from an old Dragon magazine.
Is it 11 pages long? The one you've
Yeah.
got? Go to the back. Keep looking. Keep going.
Yeah, it's the actual article.
Yeah, it's the actual article. So.
It didn't load it for some reason, but I found it.
Okay, there you go. Well, I guess technically we found it. So. There you go. So I think because you cannot cast evocation spells, Dorman, you wouldn't be able to do that. So it'll be Elanion who would be, kicking that thing off.
I don't do those spells, so you guys can blame me for that.
Yeah. All right then. So if I'm trying to think here, it was. We said it was. I'm trying to think how many hours it was for you guys to follow this. It was quite a few hours, wasn't it? Of following the Bugbear Trail. Was it around 5 hours?
Oh, I don't think it was that much.
Was it not that much?
I thought it was only like 2.
Okay, so let's say.
I was under the impression that it was like 4 hours or so, that we started kind of late morning and got there a little bit after noon.
Yeah, I think that was the case.
Okay,
so,
maybe, yeah.
So it'll be a full day's journey to get back just because of how much shit you're carrying, which means that your DM gets to make lots of random encounter rolls. So that is...
We'll have to stop at dawn so I can get some spells.
Terrific.
Yeah, if I'm moving ahead, I'll do invisibility on myself just to scout a little bit.
Okay. Now, the challenge you're going to have is that if you're leaving before dawn, your invisibility is going to go away at dawn. Or you can wait until dawn and then cast it on yourself.
Oh, I thought I had to re-prepare the spell. I haven't actually cast invisibility yet so far today.
No, that's what I'm saying, but like the duration of invisibility is until dawn or until dusk, right?
Okay. Well, it says 24 hours. I'm not sure about that.
I don't think it does. I think if you read it, I think it says until dawn or dusk. You're like 20.
Whatever makes me invisible the longest.
If only you had a copy of the player's handbook at hand, John.
Not at the kitchen table.
I'm not saying I read it before. I just don't remember seeing it, but I'll double check.
Okay, invisibility. Until you attack or until until 24 hours are passed. After all that smartassery, I'm wrong. Jesus Christ, John, you can rightfully
getting priest confused with wizard spells.
The dawn and dusk. The dawn and dusk thing, I think, is what you were using for the staff.
It is. No, for some reason I thought that it ended when dawn came. Maybe that's just because you've been casting it at dawn each time. That's what I'm thinking that way. No, I am totally wrong, John. I take back all of my hurtful sarcasm. So sorry. If only I looked it up. Jesus, Madison. Fucking hell. All right, so then
you have too many books at hand.
Yeah, really. All right, so then let's what do you call it? So then you cast that. You will have that till tomorrow, like pre-dawn then, and you guys set off into the tangled, forest-covered hills. You're first. Anyone doing anything else before they, before things get crazy?
At dawn or so, Druin does want to spend half an hour and pray for his spells.
So you guys travel for about 3 hours more. About 2 hours, not 3 hours. 2 hours, and then finally dawn breaks. So you take a moment. You've probably had 2 or 3 breaks already. Already just to catch your breath because you're carrying a lot of shit. But you set your things aside, and you can prepare your spell. Did you cast heal on yourself too, Druin?
Yeah,
you did. Yeah, I got 8.
Points.
Okay. All right. So then, morning or dawn comes. So Druin, take a break. And how long does it take you to prepare your spells?
Only half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay. What are you guys doing during that half-hour break? Elanion and Dorman.
Studying our own spells, I would assume.
Well, not me. I only cast like 2 spells to certain effect during the fight, so I'm just going to keep on watch.
To certain effect. Okay. How long does it take? It's like 10 minutes per spell level, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's because it gets like one of the balancing factors with it is it just takes progressively longer for you to prep your spells. The higher level you get. Let's see here. Actually, John, would you mind? Oh, you don't. Is that your kitchen table?
Yeah,
Let's see.
but I do have my PDF.
Oh, okay. If you can take a look, check this, see how long it takes for wizards to prep spells.
Can do.
Where would that be? Is that another class?
I
or
think it's under the magic
spell
section.
Some magic. Yeah,
It's
just
under the
magic
magic
section
chapter, I think.
historically.
You know, we're all doing it right now anyway. So let's take a moment. This will be a learning opportunity for those at home. To continue, it'll be wait yet.
It's a race.
What's that? It's
Race.
a
Whoever
race.
does
Oh
it
yeah.
First win. Yeah.
There you go.
10 minutes per level of the spell being memorized. 9th level spell require 90 minutes per spell. Yeah, it's 10
Where's
minutes
that?
per spell. Per
That's
spell
for
per
wizards.
level. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that same for priests?
Free spells. No spell book, does not need to roll to see spells. Great obtain spells. It doesn't say.
It says that the priests must pray to obtain spells as they are requesting their abilities from some greater power, be it their deity or some intermediary agent of this power. The conditions for praying are identical to those needed for the wizard's studying. So I think it's 10 minutes per level, per spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I need.
Where did I miss that?
Depends on how much healing you guys want.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you guys want to take an hour rest, or do you want to take an hour and then just say whatever you can prepare in that time, you guys will prepare? And we'll assume that Calidor and Bergour are keeping watch?
That would be exactly what I would need as an hour,
Okay.
given what I.
Yeah, let's do an hour.
And I
Yeah,
think...
if you watch, I'll re-prepare them.
I think if you can do it in an hour, then the wizards will have that should give them enough time, because you get bonus spells from your wisdom, so it would take you'd have more spells to prep than they would. So if you need only an hour to do that, then the wizards should have time to prepare all their spells as well.
I need 50
Okay.
minutes.
Bonus.
3
Bonus
spells. I need
spells.
to, yeah.
Yeah, because your wisdom. Remember, your high wisdom gives you bonus spells per day.
You interpret Druin of having high wisdom.
Does he not?
I think he's got like a 14.
Then he
Oh,
does.
maybe not. Okay. Okay, so then Bergour and Calidor, you guys sort of, put all the crates together. You take, what is it, like you just stepping off the trail that you've been following for, 50 feet or whatever, and then set your stuff up, try and cover your tracks as best you can, and then you keep watch while they do a little reading and praying.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So you hear throughout the time, you can hear the sounds of the, the forest kind of in morning. There's a bit of humidity it's probably chill in the air because it is late. It's getting to the later part of summer right now. The forest is beginning to come alive. So you're hearing creaks and the sound of animals scurrying about and birds flying through the air. But fortunately, apart from the quiet prayers being muttered by Druin, you don't hear anything else. No other sentient creature. So, Elanion, Dorman, you'll have time to prepare all of your spells, and Druin, you prepare all of yours as well. So then, guys.
Apparently, I haven't been taking enough spells.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
These two are free. That means I only have 4 4 first level spells, and I should have 5.
Yeah. Yeah, they it's also like if for each slot, if it says on your wisdom, like at one score you have 1 first level spell, and then another one it says another first level spell, that's 2 slots you get then.
Yeah, so I get so I should have 5.
Okay.
Only
Nice.
myself 4.
All right. So then, guys, the next 7. Okay. You get up and you continue on. The next 4 hours of travel are likewise uneventful. I think that you come across at one point, Dorman, if you are indeed taking point at this point, being invisible, then you do come across some tracks as well too. That you give me a tracking check. Actually, let's see if you can tell the difference between bear and what do you call it, and knoll tracks.
Apparently not.
Apparently not, no. So you see that there are some kind of animal tracks that are cutting across the same sort of region where the bugbears were going. Let's also, let's see here, what is your chance?
Bear. I'm going to say it's a bear.
Let's see here. Okay. There's a light rain that's coming down today as well, and the so I guess like it's making it so that your tracks are a little more noticeable, but it also means that visibility is quite bad. So your sounds, the sound of you moving along and grunting, carrying these very heavy chests, is not quite as noticeable as it might have been. We get into late morning. You guys think that you are making your way towards camp. Now, hold on. I was looking at something else today. Where is it?
How to get your players lost. Keyword usages.
Yeah.
You think you're heading back to your camp, but are you?
I love it. I love it. Okay. Here we go. I want to meet I was looking at some different encounter tables. Do you know what's his name? Hobbs, Diogo something or other. I can't remember what his last name is. He's the guy behind Sharp Spells and Sinister or whatever. He's putting together a book now that is just like random encounter flavor stuff. So it's going to be
I
like
think I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. So it looks pretty. That's I'm for sure going to get that because that's always helpful shit to have. So it's not just monsters that you're running into.
He's a fantastic artist too.
Yeah, he's a good artist and an incredibly prolific creator too. He's got that new Lost in the World of Fantasy game coming out. If maybe it's out now, but maybe delayed by what do you call it, COVID. But no, he's pretty prolific in his output. Let's see here. All right, would someone give me a percentile roll, please?
20.
20, eh? Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out the bear was tracking Dorman.
You put that evil on me.
Oh, man. Wrestling with an owlbear is going to be so great now. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Okay, would someone give me a D10 roll, too, please?
Not at this time.
Don't have to be faster than the bear, just got to be faster than the gnome.
Oh, with what you guys are carrying.
Okay.
No.
Oof. Oof. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Is
you guys
what it is.
are making your way through. We'll go to a tactical map in a second here. You're making your way along the trail. You're trying to do your best, Dorman. Keep an eye out for everyone. Between the dwarves have one of these big chests between the two of them, as well as other shit that's strapped to their backs. Same thing with Calder and Elanion.
Well, it's probably tied to the chest itself so that we can drop everything if we need to get into combat.
True. Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
Me too.
Before we actually, assuming that combat is about to happen, which I realize may be a bit of a stretch, but I had been imagining that we would be smart enough to tie the spellbooks and the weapons to the chests so that we could just, release and get going.
Yeah, 18 intelligence and a military mindset. I'm pretty sure Dorman thought of that too.
Yeah, no, I buy that. And you said that you were using your rope proficiency to tie that shit up. So I'm on board with all that. So you guys are going along, and then Dorman, you see this, I think, first, and you see a little rabbit is sitting in the middle of the middle of the path, and it's just looking over at you guys. His nose is kind of moving, big black eyes. Its ears are flat against the chest, and it's that trembling, kind of ready to spring into motion kind of thing, where it seems like it's hoping that you won't see it if it remains still enough. And who do you think, guys, who is the next person in line there? Would it be the two dwarves who would be marching up next, or the two elves?
Well,
We usually have the dwarves closer to the front because they're slow and we have to rush forward.
And set the
Yeah.
pair.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And which of you would be taking the front, Bergour or Druin? Or are you guys switching every couple of miles?
Probably switching pretty regularly just to give it a rest. And,
For sure. So
have a little bit of a...
each of you give me a d6 roll. Let's see who rolls highest. Whoever rolls highest, they're the one in the front.
If you tie, You were just switching.
Druin, okay. So, Druin, you're up front, and you're stomping along, and you see this as well, too. There's a little... There's a little bunny sitting in the middle of the pathway.
Anybody want Coney stew?
You just keep on going, or you stop?
Continue.
Hurry up, this shit is heavy.
If nothing happens in like the next couple of seconds, Dorman just walks louder near it as he walks by invisible.
Okay.
See if it darts off.
Okay, so you kind of stomp over, and the thing springs off because it can't see where the sound is coming from. You hear the sound of something rustling in the bushes, Druin. What do you do?
Probably drop the stuff and grab my axes.
So splash, and you grab your stuff out. Dorman, you realize that Druin is drawing weapons at the sound you made.
I throw my battle axe.
Well, he hasn't said anything yet. Dorman hasn't said one way or the other that it's him.
So he goes, "Stupid rabbit," and keeps moving ahead.
Okay. And at that, you hear kind of something very, very big takes flight from one of the trees above you, and then kind of alights down in the path behind you. And let's just say it's Calidor at the back. Calidor, you sort of you look behind you, and it's one of the Aarakocra.
Wind caller?
It's gonna be
Three wind.
It'll be one
Three
of
wind is our lookout.
yeah.
3 wind?
Yeah, 3 wind is the one. He's got the same markings that yeah. So he sits down and kind of walks in that weird waddling kind of parrot moving way that the Aarakocra do, and he gestures with one of his wings towards the chests, kind of cocks his head to the side like,
Diplomacy failed again.
Nah.
The bugbears are no more.
He looks side to side, doesn't quite understand, and then he squawks out in a kind of a broken Elvish, with a bit of a reedy quality to it. Friends. He tries to emphasize it with a question mark, as if he's like,
You say friends or prince?
friends.
Oh.
He said,
He asked if we're friends.
no, did we make friends?
He gestures at the chests.
Serene must have told him that we were off to try and get allies.
No friends.
He sort of shrugs, and he gestures sort of forward, and he flaps up and kind of lands a little further ahead of you guys. He's going to sort of pogo along with you, escorting you back home, because he doesn't want to
Don't
fly
get
up.
lost.
Yeah. So fortunately, apart from that encounter, you guys are able to make it all the way back to your camp without any further. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Without any further incident. Now I'm gonna cut and paste. I think we did set up a thing for all the characters at camp. I'm gonna move everyone over there just because I have already taken the time to set the control point rating for each of these tokens. So I'd rather keep these ones and delete the other ones. Let's see here. Is this your camp here? It is. Look at that. Let's get rid of all these guys. All right, so you guys, it is about a little before noon when you guys reach your camp.
Serene's like, what the F?
Yeah, it's been an eventful, eventful couple of hours. Let me bring you over here, guys.
I was going to say, are we supposed to be seeing the camp?
No, I haven't moved you over yet. There you go, guys.
There you go.
Oh,
we're giants.
Yeah, I'm just moving you underneath each of your avatars so everyone knows who's playing whom here. So, guys, with yourself reaching back here now too. This is the 18th of Patchwall. What are you guys doing with your day? With the rest of your day?
I'm gonna pray for the rest of my spells.
Okay. The ones you weren't aware of.
So since
I was missing a first and a second, so.
What was that, Hobbs?
I was going to say I did take Read Magic, so let's see what we got in these spell books.
Yeah.
Does it matter if I prepared an identify, just in case?
Oh, you prepared Identify.
I did.
Interesting. Okay.
Gave me that extra minute to do it. I was like, I will take a risk and prepare that.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see here. So my only question about Read Magic is, do you cast it and then you can read every... Like, is there a duration for that you can read magic in, or...
I don't know.
Is there a certain
I
book?
never used to make people take Read Magic, so...
Let's see here. It's because you're a much more generous DM than I am.
Hey, Bergour, what's your thoughts on this axe from the...
Two rounds per
Let's see
level.
here.
Bergour, what's your thoughts on this great axe from the Deep Dwarves?
Duration is 2 rounds per level.
After these guys are all done metagaming, we can do some roleplay.
You can read 1 page or equivalent per round.
1 page, yeah, or equivalent per round. So that'll give you your 4th level now. It's 8 pages. What?
Terrible.
That's insane.
It's going to take 3 weeks to figure out what the spells are.
You know what I'll do? Yeah, okay. Instead, that's fucking hilarious. I thought that Identify was punishing. Holy shit. That's like...
Being a wizard sucks.
With the rules as written too, where like your spells are 6 or 7 pages, you might get partway through one spell and be like, "Fuck, god damn it!" You're effectively like it's like feeding a meter in like a campground's shower. I mean, like, just a little bit longer. Come on.
You know what this calls for, right?
Yeah, it's a house rule for sure. Good God. All right. Give me a second here. I'm gonna check one other thing. That's funny. Oh my God. So what do you want to prepare today? I'm just gonna prepare nothing but Read Magic so I can get a half hour of reading out of it. Holy
some
shit.
are really complicated.
Let's see.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo doesn't sound all that complicated to me.
But you're not a wizard.
All right.
You type
So
your spell.
it's the way Pathfinder does it is 10 minutes per level, and each you can read 1 page per minute. So that'll give you, I don't know, 100...
10 pages per level.
10 pages per level, so you got 40 pages you could read then. So, let's see.
One of those spell books.
Well, the scrolls you'll certainly be able to identify. And you know what I'll say is... because learning the spells, it does need to be, like, you need to spend time doing that. You will be able to read the index for each of the spell books, but you won't have had to. You'll still have to cast Read Magic if you want to copy the spell out.
Index.
Yeah, there's an index.
Yeah, index in its spell.
First thing you knew is to keep track of it.
Every spell book has an index, and then there's a link on every page that takes you back to the beginning.
I may need to give some consideration to how I want to handle. Like, I like the idea that you need to cast a spell in order to decipher the stuff, but the prospect of having to track the pages for these fucking spell books.
Well, or like you could have like a % chance per page of a multi-page spell that you recognize which spell it is, even if you don't know the whole thing. So like if you open up and you say, "Oh, I can tell based on a third of the spell that this spell is Fireball," even though I haven't read the whole Fireball spell.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The way you could open up a novel and be like, "Well, I can tell that this passage occurs in the middle," even though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is like even if there's not like an index, you're sort of just flipping through and trying to get a sense of precisely what is, like what spells are available in each of them, without having to delve into the specifics of it. And then we have to and what it'll be is you have to cast Read Magic in order to copy it out, and that's the time when we would make our roll to see whether you actually can learn copy the actual formula. So here's what you learn.
Otherwise, you're taking like 4 Read Magics just to read these spell books.
Yeah, just to figure out what's in there, and then okay, so here's what you find, Hobbs. The 3 scrolls. They are. It's on my. I didn't put them in Discord because I had it written down. Here
Are
we
you
go.
talking about the scrolls with command, endure, heat, and
The
sanctuary?
scrolls are grease. No, these are the arcane scrolls, the ones that you needed
arcane.
to read magic. Scrolls are of grease, unseen servant, and audible glamour. So those were grease, unseen servant, and audible glamour.
Okay, I put it in the party loot.
Okay.
And there's 3 scrolls with the same stuff on it?
And then it's the 3 scrolls, the 3 divine scrolls. Those are the ones with command, sanctuary, and endure heat, cold. You didn't need to read magic to see those, but
So the arcane scroll, is it just 1 scroll with the 3 spells?
no, it's 3 different scrolls, and each of them only has 1 spell on it. Now the spell books. All right, so the first one, the one that had that weird like glass-looking cover. I'll just go through this. I'll post in either in chat or in Discord afterwards what's actually in these ones. But the one with the strange illusory cover, for first level spells, it has Change Self, Charm Person, Friends, Hypnotism, Phantasmal Force, Spook, and Wall of Fog. And for second level spells, it has Detect Invisibility, Blur, Improved Phantasmal Force, Knock, and Misdirection. And for third level spells, it has Blink and Invisibility 10-foot radius.
Sounds like a dormant spellbook.
It does seem to have a lot of illusory stuff in there. It does have an illusory cover as well. So, the second one that had the sort of like traveled, the worn black leather cover. For first level spells, it has Effect, and this is in addition to the ones that are in every spellbook, like Read Magic, Detect Magic. I'm not putting those in there because you guys already have those in your books. Affect Normal Fires, Audible Glamour, Chill Touch, Featherfall, Identify, Magic Missile, Shield, Shocking Grasp, and Wall of Fog. For second level spells, it has Blindness, Continual Light, Darkness 15-foot radius, Melf's Acid Arrow, Pyrotechnics, Rope Trick, and Shatter. And for third level spells, it has Dispel Magic, Explosive Ruins. Oh, Runes, not Ruins.
Nice.
Blows up old...
Runes.
Take that, dungeon.
Remember the Alamo.
Exactly. Flame Arrow, Fireball, Infravision, and Melf's Minute Meteors. And for fourth level spells, it has Ice Storm and Wall of Fire.
Sweet.
And then the one with the sort of burned and scorched cover, it has as first level spells Burning Hands, Armor, Change Self, Enlarge, Find Familiar, Jump, Sleep, and Spider Climb. For level 2 spells, it has Alter Self, Forget, Levitate, Ray of Enfeeblement, Strength, and Tasha's Uncontrollable Laughter. And then for third level spells, it has Slow. So it's a good, these things have a pretty hefty selection of them. What you can tell, the one that has they're all written obviously in different hands. This is not multiple spell books from one caster. These are each from some different caster. If you were to guess, they are likely from human casters because the look of the script, it just doesn't have that elvish flourish to it that would come with the elvish script.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it's that is what you guys find. What are the rest of you guys doing with the rest of your day? Elanion was paging over this stuff. Serene asks, well, what happened? I thought you were allying yourself with them. I see that things did not go the way that you had planned.
Such is the way is diplomacy. Not all creatures are as these Aarakocra or you, Serene.
No, indeed. It seemed a bold strategy to try and ally yourself with such creatures. Calendar, did you fall in something?
Basically, yes.
Fell in his cup.
Casting bugbear magic.
Bugbear magic. Indeed.
Yes.
The creek is, if you wish to avail yourself of it, the creek is down the hill.
Thank you.
Don't think that smell will ever come out though.
Nope.
It gets everywhere.
So, what about the rest of you guys?
I'm actually gonna. I guess someone else should do it, not me. I'm busy. Don't talk to me now. I'm leafing through these spell books, trying to remember and write them down at 100 words per minute.
Hey, Bergour, what do you think of this great axe made by the deep dwarves?
I do not want it because I have a shield and I use a shield. But
there's a nice shield here too, but it's also
there's a big shield, but it's not my shield.
That's very true.
So,
Calidor, what are you using for? Oh, he went first. Wash. When he gets back, I'll be like, Calidor, what are you using for weapons? You're gonna use a longsword, right?
Yeah, he has that magical dog-killing longsword.
Yeah. Also, Calidor, what the fuck happened when you turned on Elanion?
Yeah, why are we trying to strangle Elanion?
I don't know. He's kind of a shithead sometimes, don't you think?
I mean, I can agree with that, but
All the wizards are shitheads at
Seems
some
a
point or
little
another, it
extreme.
seems. But
Yeah, no.
strangling him seems a little off.
There was I guess I kind of described the dream. What is it? It's like a sea creature, or what? How would I describe
You
it?
saw eyes coming out
Yeah,
of
like-
the... Yeah, and the rough outline, but only in the light cast by whatever phosphorescent fungi clung to the ceiling of that massive chamber.
Right.
So some
It's
kind
not
of
very
sea
easy to
creature
describe.
compelled
Well,
you to
kind of-
attack Elanion?
It's a dream as well, too. So
Kind
it's
of
got
ancient.
that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would describe it more as some kind of an ancient evil than as a sea creature.
I think that you can assume, because again, Rilligo is an extremely, evocative singer. He has no doubt regaled you of the finest of the tales from his dream at some point.
Actually, I would probably refer to the song that he probably has since written and say,
Yeah.
It was exactly that song. Maybe I even sing it. It's a pretty terrible rendition, but you know the tune. This one.
It's like the horror movie Creepy because it's a little too slow version of the same song. Okay.
Yes.
So we've got
It had control of my mind.
and that's why you attacked Elanion?
Of course. Just joking about him being a shit. Although there's some truth to it.
He's a dirt elf, but he's not, a shit.
Dirt elf. Jeez.
I like that. Somebody called him a dirty elf last time, and I liked that. That was good. He's a dirt elf. Not dirty. but-
Dirtbag, I believe. That was what I called him.
All right.
First, Kevin is calling elves. He's a scriptist, saying elves have eloquent flourishes to their writing. Now you guys are calling me dirt elf. Jesus, what is this game?
Well,
turning
not
into?
all elves.
I mean, for a dwarf, dirt elf is probably a term of endearment, right? Because you're
You're
close
the
to
ni-
the earth.
Yeah.
You're the nicest dirt elf I know.
Yeah. We love you,
Yeah.
dirt elves.
Yeah, you turned
Not
out
as much as real dwarves, but
Yeah,
an
you're like,
appropriate amount.
it's almost calling you like a mountain dwarf right there.
Mhm.
Dorman's going to go around and collecting some magic items and then retreat to a tent for 8 hours. I got stuff to do, guys.
Okay.
Is that
I
how
hope
it
you
works?
wipe it up afterwards.
I thought you could only do like one item. Or
Oh,
something
you're
with
trying
one
to.
spell.
Yeah, you're trying to
Yeah,
identify
fine.
these things, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
It
And
takes
how many?
about 8 hours of purifying that I can do 4 items,
4 items. Right. Okay. And then the percentage chance is 40%.
40%.
40%. All right.
Yeah, I don't know if 8 hours is going to go, smoothly. We might get attacked, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There's
try.
only
That
3
is
items though.
Well, I can do up to 4. So
Yeah, I'm saying, but the only 3 that I see in the list.
Yeah, if some guys attack the tent, lead them away. I'll have the information for you later.
So,
Are you
I love-
still invisible, Dorman?
Yeah, so
When you do all this?
I accidentally swing the great axe the wrong way and try to bop him in the head. Like, here you go, Norman. Boom. Make a dex check, see if you duck it.
Take a dex check and see if you know where I am.
No. Come here. Good girl. Sorry. And
So,
was
do I
just
make
trying
a
to jump on
do I make a blind fighting roll on that, Kev?
Oh, you actually are doing it.
I have blind fighting. If
Finger's gonna slip in color spray.
Yeah, please do. Come on.
No.
Hey, come on. Up you go.
I'm not trying to hit him like to do damage. I just like swing the handle around really fast and.
I'm gonna be losing 8 constitution here for a bit, so go easy.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't try to hit him.
Okay, so you guys
actually
hand
gonna go
over
up.
the goods. So then it won't take you like 8 hours to identify what's in the spellbooks and stuff like that, Elanion. So you can say that you've done that already. Calidor is scrubbing himself. Bergour and Druin, I guess you guys are just cleaning yourself for the rest of the day, or just relaxing in camp, or what are you thinking?
Well, I drank the stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Do I have the smell on me, or is it like associated with the mental?
You actually don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently,
You're this is my natural dwarven cleanliness.
or just your dwarven guts, process the stuff before it ever like properly metabolized into you.
It doesn't come out your pores; it comes out in chunks.
Lovely. That's a good picture. Okay, so then, Dorman, unless there's anything else you guys wish to do for the rest of the day, I have rolled here, and the rest of the day is going to be uneventful, sadly. But Dorman, give us a percentile roll at the end of the day. Let's see what happens here.
Okay, so is the 3 items identifying?
The 3 you're identifying, yes.
Okay, so it's
18.
under 40.
Under 40, so you succeed.
Nope on the second one,
Oh.
and nope on the third one. So I get
Nope,
one
the
of them.
third one, okay.
So
I figured it
large
would be
shield.
the shield. Shield first.
Well, I was just looking at the order that they're in the list.
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
the order I got them in the list. What was the first thing?
The shield.
Was the shield, okay.
I can
So,
try again tomorrow, guys.
what you find... Hold on here.
Nobody touch these things; they're purified.
All right, so this shield. So the shield was made by dark dwarves. It has a minor ability where basically what it can do is it gives you advantage on one save where pride would save you. So if you've got a save that like versus mind control where pride would come into it, you can make that save with advantage. But as for the bonus, you gotta love randomly generated treasure, guys. It is a large shield plus 4.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah.
Bergour,
Holy
upgrade.
shit! Calidor now fights with a shield. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet
I'm just joking.
piece of gear. So
Well,
yeah,
you
no,
don't necessarily have to be joking if Bergour doesn't want
the
to
thing is,
upgrade shields.
I mean,
to-
yes, if no one else is going to use it, I will certainly start learning how to use
the Dvergar definitely speak with a different dialect of Dwarvish than what you guys would have learned, and you have to call out a word in the Dvergar dialect in order to activate the pride thing.
Do we know the word from the identifier? Is
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Dorman can
So
tell
we
you what
just
it
have to
is.
say something nasty.
You just have
I don't wanna ever
to
have
curse.
utter
Yeah.
that word.
And it's got picture like what's on it. It all triumphs clearly what is Dvergar military might.
Ugh.
But it's a +4 large shield, so
Yeah.
Bergour, that
Cal-
is right up your alley.
Calidor, you're using a longsword right now?
Yeah. So it is a one-handed sword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if
And a
no one
ba-
else wants it, honestly,
A
I could
bastard
use
sword,
it.
can that be used one-handed as well?
So
Yeah,
what's that?
bastard is 1 or 2.
Yeah, bastard sword is 1 or 2. So the what do you call it? The weight of the thing is 14 pounds, but
Awesome.
it gives you +6 to your AC and +7 versus missile attacks. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, I think if Bergour wants it, it's because he's the shield guy, but
So I have two kind of considerations, and one is the sort of metagaming factor. My AC is already really good, so
Right, we'd have
putting it
two
on somebody
tanks,
else
right.
might be the thing to do. From a roleplay perspective, Bergour is not super interested in a Duergar shield, and especially not interested in giving up a shield that isn't right. This one is his, right? This shield that he's been
Right.
using. He's got it saved his life a bunch of times, and he's got a real attachment to it that he doesn't. It's not super. If the will of the group is to make Bergour the super tank, then Bergour will, ask Druin to say the last words for his old shield or something like that. But
Mhm.
Calidor using would be a good idea, but
Well, if Calidor has a shield and Bergour has a shield, and they're both, relatively tough to hit, that definitely makes the shield wall a little stronger.
yep.
It makes a
Absolutely.
shield wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right now all we have is one shield.
Yeah.
It makes a shield wall.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Cola, your with the shield, your AC would go.
Cola?
Not Cola. I'm sorry. Who am I looking at here? Calidor. Where are you, Calidor? I'm looking at the wrong.
his AC
That's right in
is
front of here. Jesus.
massive.
Too many damn games here. What the fuck?
Hobbs, that's totally true. There's a bastard sword in here, so let's store it.
Yeah, that would have been great. So that means Calidor. Currently, your AC is 0. Your AC is going to go to a -6.
Whoa!
I mean, that would be pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like having an AC of 30 in regular Pathfinder at level 4. Insane.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Calidor doesn't have a problem with using, some dirty dwarven shield of whatever.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Bergour,
you
would you
don't-
want to use this bastard sword that you picked up?
What does it mean for your encumbrance to add 14 pounds?
What do you
Yeah,
have to
that
drop?
might make a difference.
What do you have to drop?
You're a human,
Well,
you can walk
let's
slower.
see. The
I think-
heaviest thing I'm carrying is my chainmail. But after that, it's a small tent, which is like something that I'm carrying, like, I could
never
not.
use.
I don't have to carry.
Someone
It's
else
about-
could carry
it's-
that.
It's 10 pounds, which would counteract the
14 from the shield.
bulk of the shield, and then I would only be going up by 4, so I'd be going from 49 to 53, which would put me still within
Go
the
under.
first.
Okay.
So, a question.
Yep.
Am I able to use Astonishing Fortune to reroll those 2 that I failed?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
So I'll just delete tent and put dwarven wall
Don't
shield.
delete it. I'll put the tent on mine.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm just taking it off my character sheet. That's what I mean.
Yeah. You toss it to the ground. Fuck this thing.
Stupid tent.
It's probably set up. To
Get it set up
push
so he
the
kicks
tank
it down.
and then says, "Fuck
Put it down. No.
All
Oh,
right.
you wanted that. Oh, sorry, Elanion.
Okay. So that's a huge difference for when you got your shield and when you don't. Because when you got your shield...
Absolutely,
Yeah. All
So
right.
okay. So what did you say? My AC is -6?
Your AC with the shield on will now be a -6.
Okay, and then without is still 0.
Without is still 0. And against missile weapons, it's -7.
with the shield."
With the
Okay,
shield.
is there like a... Oh, I guess I could just put that in this
There's
other
the
box
notes
here.
section under AC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
-7 versus...
Well, and we all know that, like, once you get to a certain point, and that 20 still,
Shield.
Yep.
yeah.
Bergour found that out.
Also known as Bergour's Bane. I think
Wow,
because
alright.
you've been rocking about this AC for the last, like, 3 levels, right?
Pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been pretty high. I guess the last AC bonus I got was getting the helm, shook me from -2 to -3. So
Oh, right.
and that was the last adventuring that we did. So
Okay. So then, Dorman, you had the shit kicked out of you. He probably comes out with like ashen-faced. Serene wants to know what you guys are planning here now too. It's great that you guys got this, recovered all this loot from the bugbears. But I mean, do they still know where you guys are?
We assume so. We don't know which ones survived, if they're the ones who come here previously.
Yeah.
And we probably made, Elanion, did we make some pretty deep tracks, I'm guessing, carrying those super heavy chests?
Of course. I don't think they're going to want to mess with us, though. That would be foolish.
Well, they talked earlier about a show of strength. We showed them some strength.
Well, it does seem like you've killed at least 3 of their leaders. 4 if you include that ambushing party that you guys faced.
Yeah.
So
there might be one left who might think better of coming here.
Yeah. So then, this is your for this day. What are you guys planning to do with your next day? Serene wants to know if you guys, if the bugbear route has not succeeded. What's the plan then? How can she and the Aarakocra help you?
Do we want to ambush another set of gnolls? Whittle them down?
Sounds
I
like
think that's
fun.
about where we're back to, is that if we don't have the bugbear helping us, there's still a ton of gnolls in there. It doesn't seem like we're in any... I mean, we are in technically a little bit better position to storm the place if we've got new magical gear, but we're not that much better off than we were before.
So with a good night's sleep, Dorman will recover the... Is it 8?
It's 1 point of con per hour after.
Yeah,
so
and you
in 8
lost...
hours, I'll be better.
You lost 8 with the casting? Okay, so yeah, so if he gets a good night's sleep, he'll be fine and ready to cast the Identify again tomorrow morning if you want. Although, I mean, it takes a while to cast it, doesn't it?
Actually, I got to do 8 hours to purify the items, so if nobody touches the items, I don't have to do it again.
I think you kind of have to start over fresh if you don't. Yeah. Because it's part of the casting of the spell is using, those specific things. But
I could prepare them before I. No, actually, yeah, I'd have to do it again.
Okay.
I'm thinking I could probably do it between rests, but then I wouldn't rest.
Yeah. Do you want to try and identify these tomorrow, or do you want to plan for another gnoll ambush?
I mean, honestly, going from 15 con to 7 will only cost me about 4 hit points, so I can still participate in the fight if needed.
Well, I mean, you're not going tonight, as far as I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so you're going to get your constitution back from a full night's sleep.
He's saying,
what he's saying is that
tomorrow.
if he does identify tomorrow, then
I see.
Be down a little bit. But
the thing is, so he'd sleep all night. He'd have to get up, and then he has to spend 8 hours prepping it before he casts it. So you guys, it's a full work day that he would be getting that shit ready. Although I guess that gives you guys time to reconnoiter and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, so I think we still haven't figured out even how many parties actually leave the Gnoll camp per day on average. We figured out that the one water party went out kind of late in the day the one time, but we don't know if they're sending out other hunting parties or if they're receiving reinforcements at all or anything like that. So it might be worth setting up, we could have the rest of us set up in that kind of treed area that we did before, with 3 wind over us kind of circling to look at stuff, and he can come down if he sees anything that is happening where we couldn't see it, and we could just watch the camp all day and kind of see about how many parties kind of go out and leave and all that sort of stuff. To try to get an idea of what their kind of setup is like.
Okay.
And I can dole out up to 3 invisibilities if you want before I do my other spell. So.
Well, I think we'd want 1 on 3 wind, because that's been our sort of standard plan, is to have him invisible in the air.
So before we get to the next day, is anybody still hurt that needs healing?
Just my pride.
Bergour and Calidor are.
I'm down 3 right now.
I am down 8.
Bergour?
Yep.
There's 6 more. We'd have got 1 back from sleeping.
You
morning.
haven't slept yet.
I'm saying, like, well,
When you
potentially
do
get 1
sleep,
back.
yeah.
We'll get for tonight. So yeah, I'll be at 58 out of 59 after tonight.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
And it might be worth saving them if we get ambushed in the night and get hurt again.
That has happened in the past.
Yep.
Okay.
So Calorie, you're down a couple, but
Yeah, I'm down 3 total. So after a rest, I'll be down 2.
okay. Well, I'll just wait, and if we get my spells come back in the morning at dawn, I do my prayers.
Okay.
then. But I'm kind of beat up, so
Yeah. So why don't you do some on yourself?
Cure moderate.
2d4 plus 3.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hey, not bad.
8, not bad. All right. Let's see how your night goes. Okay. So you guys once again take turns keeping watch throughout the evening, and fortunately, your theory that the bugbears have been taught a lesson so soundly that they would not come back appears to be true, at least for now. As the night passes, you hear the sounds of the Knoll camp with the barking and howling and yipping from a couple miles off to the east. It's a booze time there, Jeff.
And it's time to refill my cup. Yeah.
But then the evening passes uneventfully. So you guys wake up. Each of you heals 1 hit point. And what do you guys plan on doing with your day? Who is planning on... I guess who's going to be the recipient of the other invisibility spells? And Dorman, I guess yours is gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up in the morning making some food, prepping a big meal.
Nice. Yeah, after the last night, jeez. Not one of your finest, I guess, with a 2.
Well, I'm kind of drained, so.
It's very true, yeah. It's gruel. Gruel for you. Elanion, you're able to...
prestidigitation.
Better than that crap those bugbears serve us.
Yeesh.
So I take it you don't want fish.
Is that what you've made?
No.
Yeah. I think you've still got a bit of a stink on you too, Calidor. It just
Great.
doesn't seem to be washing off right now. So this means... So I grab my calendar again. There it is. Here we go. 19th of Patchwall. I'm just writing down what's happening. Okay. All right. So once you guys all finish breaking your fast, you guys talk about what the plan is for the day. Who are going to be the recipients of the other 2 invisibility spells? If Elanion's on his own, I mean, not Calidor now, but if Elanion's on his own, he's effectively invisible. So what do you guys think?
Calidor doesn't need to be invisible now. Let him come.
So I don't know that anybody needs to be invisible. Seems like the only reason we would... So I'm trying to think through like possibilities. Seems like the only reason we would necessarily want people invisible is if the dwarves needed to be invisible to hide from a big pack of gnolls, because the gnolls move faster than the dwarves, whereas the elves can just move themselves. So the question is, how likely do we think that is, and is it worth the difficulty of having half of our party invisible, and thus being, harder to coordinate and that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Sure.
If you don't need them, I'll save them. I might need them if the camp gets raided, so.
Yeah, that was my thought. Only if the dwarves needed to hide or something would we need them.
It could be when you guys come back to get me, we could do a stealth mission to get them.
Ooh, do I need to do my stealth mission music? Oh, sorry.
Let's do no more invisibilities and Dorman. That way, if something comes out of the bushes, you have a chance to do it on yourself to try to, while you're on low constitution and all that.
So just one of the Aarakocra then. Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
1 on 3 win.
Okay. So for the 8 hours, it takes you a couple of hours. Actually, you're only going to have about 2 hours or 3 hours of time actually observing them because of how difficult the terrain is. You've made this trip now a couple of times, though, so you don't have to worry about getting lost in this. Serene will go with you as well if you guys wish. And what you can see is they are now, it appears, sending out at least, you guys get there about in time for one of their water parties going out. And it appears that they are now sending out their numbers in twice as much as they did before. So the parties are substantially more defended, and they have more. They're bringing more water back with the run. You see one of those come back, and you also see that they erect in that palisade that's in the middle of the camp there, or not in the middle, but the south western edge of the camp. You can see that there is some kind of tall structure that is taking form. You'd think it's maybe, it looks like a tower, to be honest, without just the skeletal outcropping of a tower.
Are they building a drill?
Or like a
well
crane.
Or they're building a tower.
Or they're building a tower. But I'm imagining if it's a crane, right, that would be, if they dig all the way through, they could have a platform that they lower from the crane down into the hole that they dig.
Right.
Pretty smart gnolls.
Why don't we just throw a pit spell in there and see if that fucks them up?
Is the pit spell like line of sight, or could you cast it at its max range away from what you could see? Like, I'm wondering if Elanion could cast it through the outer palisade.
No, you gotta see a spot.
Okay.
So one to take down the palisade and one to... I want to hit him. I want to hurt him. So we take another water scout group. We know where they're going.
Well, how many people were in the last one? 10?
There was 2 big guys.
2 big guys,
Nice.
6 small guys, and 3 hyenas. I say small, but they're full null size.
Yeah.
So
They're twice the size of us, but they're smaller.
yeah.
Okay.
So imagine something on the order of 15 gnolls. 4 or 5 of those are big guys, and 5 or 6 hyenas per watering party.
They only do that during the day, or do they do that at night as well?
You saw one of them come back, and this was right after you guys got there. Depending on how long you guys want to wait here, if you want to wait until dusk and then head back, then is that what you're doing?
Might as well.
Okay, so you'll see a second one set out about 2 hours before dusk. Same size.
Let's get him.
Yeah, if they're sending a big...
Yeah, so it is, as I said, it's about 4 of those big ones. And it's about 10 to 12 of the regular gnolls, and then there's hyenas with them as well. Whatever the bugbears and you guys have been doing there, they've clearly been fed up with that. So,
That was part of the plan, right? Draw them out. So
Yeah.
if we can take out another group, maybe they'll send out one of the leaders or something.
Yeah.
Well, and
First thing in the morning?
we're also dwindling their numbers by running these.
do you guys remember how the last
Yeah.
fight went? Just to give you a scale of the difficulty of it? Because I think that like 2 of you guys almost died in that fight, didn't you?
Yeah, and that was
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah, just so
so.
you guys kicked the shit out of those bugbears, but the last Knoll batch you fought, especially those bigger guys, they were a little challenging.
Well, that's because Calidor took on one all by himself.
Now he's got a -6 AC, so he's good to go.
Well, I'm feeling well, I'm going to reach out and grab him instead of just trying to rip his face off. So.
So what are you guys thinking? Is it ambush or?
I don't think an ambush tonight. Definitely. I
Okay.
think we head back to the camp.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys get back in time, and Dorman, do you wait for everyone to get back to cast your spell, or do you get it done because you'll have time to cast it and then start recovering?
Yeah, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
I wanna
Okay.
recover it, yeah.
So the last two things, let's hear. We've got an axe and a sword. So go ahead, make your axe check. Yep, you identify the axe,
And the
you've
sword.
identified the sword. Very nice. All right,
Wow.
so
What the sword does.
let's see here.
It's going to be some sweet XP tonight.
So
To be honest,
because
this is the second time I've cast a spell, so the first time getting one was on par.
nice. All right, so here's what you get. Let's talk about that great axe first. So the great axe has a does not have any obvious special ability here, though I think that what you can see is that there appears to be there's magical enchantments or writing in this thing that it needs to be exposed to something, a different environment for it to be active.
Okay.
So this was brought underground, then things may be different. But as it is, this is a great axe +1.
Okay.
So does whatever I listed it in the chat there. So it does. Great axe is 2d8. No, sorry, 1d10 versus small medium, 2d8 versus large. Ignores 2 points of DR. It is a large thing, so you need 2 hands for it. And speed factor, I've got it listed there as 9, but its speed factor is actually 8 because it's magical. So there's that. And the bastard sword, the elven one, again, like it looks like this is something that is likely an heirloom of some kind. The bastard sword is a bastard sword that once per day it can restore sight. And once again, this is where you guys benefit from the fucking random rolls. It is a bastard sword +4.
Dang, Calidor, you want to upgrade that?
Wow.
Maybe Bergour wants
Yeah.
to fight with a sword.
I don't know. I think Calidor's the only one specialized in swords.
Uh,
Well, he specializes in
specialized-
longsword.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fighter feet though, so yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can't use it. It's too big for me.
So I could, I have that old silvered longsword that was really goes that I was carrying because
Very
my
magical.
battle axe isn't magical. I could definitely have. It might even be my main weapon, to be honest. If it's a +4 bastard sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
and then if you break your shield, you end up using it 2-hand.
Yep.
Yeah, give it to Bergour.
All right.
So it's
I
a
will
blaster
take
sword
it.
+4 and does what?
Those
Restore
bastard
sight
sword
once
+4,
per
and then once per day it can restore blindness to the wielder.
Wait,
So,
restore blindness.
Well, cure blindness.
Remove blindness? Cure blindness?
Yeah, it makes you blind again. It's an amazing sword.
Give it to Bergour. You get your next personalization point at level 6.
Bam, you're Daredevil. Yes.
That's a cool sword.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, the weapon speed on this thing becomes
Hey.
a 2 one-handed and a 4 two-handed. It is pretty quick. All right. So then, guys.
Dorman like stumbles out of the tent when you guys get back. Oh, that took a lot out of me, but look at this!
Okay.
Holy hell.
So then, you've come back to camp in time to see Dorman is probably eating some food, trying to get his strength back. And, yeah, he's got some riches for you guys. Now, what about that great axe? Is anyone interested in that great axe?
Druin's kind of looking it over.
Yeah.
He might need to commune with his god to see if this is unallowable. It's
Better than an elven.
dark dwarf weapon. I don't know. Clangadin might not approve.
What is your two-handed sword? What is that right now? Is that a +1 sword?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, have you guys ever had that thing identified? Oh, I thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elves identified it for us.
Okay.
It's a +1 two-handed sword. While at night or underground, once per day, can act as if under the effect of blur.
Oh shit.
Does the elven bastard sword have a name?
It does have a name.
Let me roll it real quick.
Let me see here. Hold on.
We don't even have a really big barbarian-like character to use that.
For what?
Great
Okay,
axe.
give me a sec here. Its name.
Got a dwarf. What do you need a barbarian for?
You do use axes, so yeah, maybe you should specialize in weapon groups.
I am specialized in all axes.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Definitely going to Druin then.
Well, that's just it, though.
Guess
So
who's
this is
gonna specialize in bastard swords when he
This
levels
is-
up?
but this is the role playing component. It's that Druin is a priest of Clangadin, and this is a axe of the enemy, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, how often do you fight dark dwarves?
Well, it's not about fighting dark dwarves. It's about using something that's crafted by your enemy.
So,
Get over yourself,
as far
Druin.
as Dorman's concerned, he's like using enemy's weapon against him. Yeah.
Maybe for you, Clangadin is a convenience, but for me, it's life.
I appreciate playing it in.
I think it's because this I kind of fell on this. This is the name. Luton. And the name of what that translates to is riddle spinner. And the flourishes and such that are on the blade, it actually seems to be like a complex kind of design. Like when you look at it more closely or from different angles, it actually reveals different aspects or different images. So it's the kind of thing you could like stare at and turn over and continually see, new things or new shapes and forms appearing in it.
Druin is going to take the great axe and lay it across his lap, and I don't know. Is there like a commune? It's going to open up a channel to his god and pray for guidance.
Well, there definitely is like I said, there's the name of a dwarven princess written across it. And let's see what her name is here.
Hey, Bergour, even if I don't take the great axe, what are you doing with your battle axe?
I was gonna keep it on my belt, one on each side. Or do you want it? Because if you, I trust you, man. If you want it,
I would fight with 2 battle axes.
hell yeah.
Regularly. Because Druin is specialized in all axes, and he's got the dual weapons style specialized, so he can fight with 2 regular sized battle axes.
Nope.
The second one doesn't have to be small anymore.
All right, I'm pulling the battle axe out of its belt loop and I'll hand it right to you.
Okay.
And
the name on the dwarven weapon on the great axe is Werbella. which means war sister or battle sister.
Where Bella?
Yeah. It's in chat. Wherbella.
And did the shield have a name?
The shield, I don't think did. It just had those designs on it, but let's see here. They may have a name, a word for it. Let's see. You know what it would have? It'll have the name of the what do you call it? The stronghold of the clan. And it will be let's see here. Oh, Balzac. Oh, no problem, Elanion. Yeah, that's fine.
Hope Cleo's okay.
Yeah, me too. I'll let you
All right.
guys know.
Yeah, sounds good. Take it easy, Hobbs.
Yeah, keep us posted, Hobbs.
Oh, you know, so we'll do this here.
Clan Balzac. That's a.
Balzacra. There we go.
Oh, yeah,
Bunch of children.
Might be better.
I was about to say,
there's a town near here called Balzac, so that's why I don't really don't think of it. But okay, let's get. So Elanion is bowing out here. Oh, why the fuck did I erase him? Jeez. Everyone's in camp. There we go. There we go. All right. So then, guys, yeah, that Balzacra, which means, oh gosh, what was it? Anger Forge. So the Anger Forge is what made your what do you call it? Your shield.
Beauty.
And the shield. So all the shield and the axe are both made in the same place, or?
I mean, seems likely the clans that would have crafted these two things together, or these two things, it's likely that the bugbear came across them from the same source.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in these things, and it's difficult to tell how old these things are as well. If, yeah, like I mean, even with your forging, because these things are magical items, they probably don't age the way that other things do. They're, although like the leather grips and shit like that shit would probably have to be replaced. So maybe, which of you two guys, Druin or Bergour, which of you guys has the armor or the weapon smith one? Or do neither of you guys?
Neither. I just have regular blacksmithing, and Druin has armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Give me a blacksmithing at -5.
Blacksmithing -5.
Same thing for you, Dave. You want to make the roll for armor, so just take -5 to your.
So that's still success with a 15.
Yeah, so,
or not 15, 13.
Yeah, so I mean, these have got to be. These are quite old. You know.
I didn't take that. So even with a -5, I would be at a 10. No.
-5. Yeah. No, a -5. You would be at a
7.
Oh, yeah, works either way. Yeah. Okay, so then, yes, both of you guys can tell that these things, they're probably, you know, at least a few centuries old. So whether the people who actually wielded these things, they're probably long dead. It's not a matter of the bugbear setting upon them and taking them, but whether these clans would still exist or whatnot, whether the Angerforge clan would still exist, who knows?
So I think what Druin's going to do, he probably gets nothing from his god in guidance, and so he's got to use his own best judgment. That's probably what Clangadin's like. Fuck you! I'm not telling you what to do. At least if his god was Crom, that's probably what he would get from that.
Yeah.
So he is going to take Ruavar, the two-handed sword,
yep,
and lay it on the ground and say to the group, anybody want to use this, they may. and he straps the greatsword to his back as a alternate weapon, and he starts getting used to using the 2 battle axes in his hands.
Okay.
And just starts doing a little practicing and swinging, and he's got to get used to that. So he might go into battle with a hand axe and a battle axe, just so he can throw the hand axe and then draw the second battle axe when he gets into melee.
Okay.
And then fighting.
And he says, the great axe is going to be on his back?
The great axe will be like, I got to fight a large creature, or I'm going to go with great axe.
Okay. Where Bella? Okay. So then,
For Carrick, his special thing, right, is that he has like 1 weapon that he uses.
Yes.
So we can't just like give him the 2-handed elven sword and say, hey, this is for you.
And I mean, he uses something very similar to Luton.
Mm-hmm.
He uses a bastard sword that's of elven make that has some stuff in it.
It's like his one.
It is
right?
his one, absolutely. The way that these elves sort of, or at least what Carrick would explain to you if he was here, is that they sort of bond with this one thing that's been wielded by their predecessors and their ancestors, and they wield it until they pass it on to the next of their family.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was sort of wondering if I was stealing his thunder by taking the awesome bastard sword, and then also wondering if he could take the 2-handed elven sword. I guess he could probably carry it, but
yeah, I mean, it's probably something from his. It's from what? Actually, I don't know. I don't know if it is from one of them. It's a pretty fucking powerful weapon, and if it was one of his allies who was carrying that, like it's something that is a phenomenal, heirloom. And the gnolls would have been the first ones to make off with all of the loot. So it's more likely that it was them that got it, if it fell. So this actually may be something completely unrelated. It may have been something similar to what his Blade Dancer tradition is, but the Blade Dancer tradition goes back centuries and centuries. So I mean, it could very well be that I'm just going to mute Jeff because when he's he's on the phone. Okay. What do you call it? This thing may have actually been from the loot or from the same location that you guys got all your stuff from. Heathertop Warm.
Heathertop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's another. There may be another place near here. Who knows? So, Bergour, that's a bit of a change, wielding a sword instead of an axe, but it's this thing. What's his thought once he finally gives this thing a swing or two?
Well, he could tell just at sight that this is a beautiful and marvelous weapon, so getting it in his hands is something special. He probably kind of experiments with the double grip versus the single grip, kind of thinking about his shield in the other hand and the balance. And then he also... So, spoiler alert, I was planning on getting some type of proficiency with swords anyway for the next level, because swords are more powerful, objectively better weapons for the most part than battle axes. And Bergour is nothing if not a serious fighter who takes his practice seriously.
Yep.
But so it's not entirely out of what he expected, but it's definitely, this is, something really, I mean, he's probably right, because he's spent most of his life before adventuring working with metal. He's got a real sense of what this thing means, and the kind of craftsmanship and dedication that went into building it, and the elements that he doesn't understand, the kind of enchanting process, but he has a sense of like the work that went into that,
and the fact that because of his name too, like I imagine, because he can, like anyone turning and looking at this thing and turning it over would see all these facets and whatnot that continually reveal themselves to the viewer. And as a metal worker as well too, there's got to be even more he gets out of that experience.
Oh yeah, I think it's something like the Vikings talk about the snake in the blade, that you breathe on a blade and you can see the pattern of how the metal is woven.
Yeah,
and I'm imagining something like that, only the craft of 1,000-year-old smiths who have had all that time and magic to make their craft super great, that it's extended to an exponential degree to create this kind of.
Well, and I'll just add a little bit of context for you too. Like the thing with elves is that like they can seem to be flighty and whatever else because of how how long their lives are, but what you've heard is that there are elves among them, like say the Grey Elves from what your new friend Carrick Springs, who can dedicate 2/3 of their life to one thing, to crafting one perfect thing, and this blade may very well represent the very the height of perfection of one master craftsman's lifetime. Same thing for that shield as well too. Like that shield that Caldor is wielding now, that is the kind of thing that would be passed down through like the chieftains or like the ruling families of Bergour clans. So this may very well you may be carrying the Angerforge clan shield right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this is how rare these things are. How the fuck these guys came across them? That's got to be a story for another day. But, what are we...
Kev, I need my character picture modified now. I need the two hand axes on the belt are fine, but I need to have 2 battle axes now and a great axe sticking out the back.
Yeah, we'll save it for the group picture when we do the group portrait of everyone together. I will update everyone's weaponry accordingly.
I'm just teasing.
That'd be neat to revisit the characters. Anyway, I've got an idea of what the each of them looks like. Okay, so let's do this. I see we're at our midway point right now, guys. Let's take our mid-session break. We'll check my chat. Actually, before we go, I'll check my chat now. Hi, everybody. Let's see here. Fred, what's shaking? How you doing? Brian, morning. Jesus, long week. Steven, howdy. Big loot. Yeah, no, they made off like bandits from that this thing. Mr. B, howdy. Thanks for sharing that link to that other game today too, Mr. B. Let's see who else here. Mel, what's shaking? Yeah. The stream is really a refuge from all the nut stuff going on in 2020. Well, thanks, Mel. We hope happy to provide an excuse for a couple of hours to think about something other than, that crazy stuff that was going on. Saul, what's shaking?
Yeah, tune into our Saturday and Sunday games for the Quarantine Crusaders.
Hey, the Quarantine Crusade. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So then, let's take our mid-session break right now, guys. I'm going to take the pooch out. What happened? But Dorman's not the only bastard around now.
No, my party was great. What about you?
Awesome. The intra-party rivalry. I love it. Okay, so then we'll take 5 minutes, guys. We'll be back momentarily, and then we'll see what our heroes are going to do next.
Good one. Minus to hit, jeez.
It's pretty mean.
Couldn't do that on the natural 20. Okay, if we ever go to like the deepest, coldest part of the Underdark, I'll be fine. You guys might freeze. Ah, that's cool.
I don't know. I've got a great axe that only works underground, so who knows what that means.
Well, I'll find out once I get down there. Need to find me a magic short bow or something.
Can you use a longbow?
I'm a small dwarf or gnome, not dwarf. So short bow is biggest I can use.
You need a crossbow.
Too bad I could give you mine, but
Nah.
I don't see myself pulling out my bow as often now.
Well, you're the crack shot with a bow, if I remember.
Yep, he
So-
is.
They use the
I guess
sword
so.
skill for main combat. It's always preferable to shoot first and then go into melee.
No, I just don't have two hands free ever. I mean, I guess I can set my shield down somewhere.
You could get a hand crossbow, load that up and fire it, and then drop it and run into battle.
True.
Or, you know, have a squire to give you a shield when it's ready to run in.
Dorman,
So,
bring
yeah,
my
hey,
shield.
Dorman. Yeah.
We should be specializing in throwing darts.
I will,
At a specialized fighter, level 1 to 6, can throw 4 darts in one round.
I will have to
Wow.
volunteer to be a squire.
Don't they do a D2 damage?
Yeah, but imagine if they were poisoned.
Starting to sound like Frillago.
Yeah.
Because you know how Kev loves to let us have poison.
Well, I'm more worried about the rolling a 1, 2, or 3 and you throw it into combat and poison an ally. Don't do
Get
that.
away from where I'm throwing my poison darts, Dorman.
Oh, I ain't never near that. He's dead gnome. Not until I get Tesnir's transformation, then I will rock the world.
It's not until level 7 that the base attack rate improves, unfortunately. So I was hoping that I could specialize in Bastard Sword and then get 2-1 attacks when I level up, which would be pretty nasty with this +4.
Yeah.
But no, that's a dream for far off in the future when I have enough gold to pay for level 7 training.
Nice.
Is that when you get the next weapon specialization?
No, I get the next weapon specialization at 6, which is the next one, but the fighter's base attack rate doesn't go up until 7. So that's what I was thinking. With a specialized melee weapon at level 7, you get 2 attacks per round instead of 3 every 2 rounds.
Oh, I see.
Which, that's why I was saying it would be just ridiculously nasty with the big bonus to hit anyway. So, and then of course my Thaka would be better by then too.
A lot
Almost be ready to take on a Fang Dragon.
better. That's why you got the +4 weapons. Oh, so I was talking with Druin off camera, discussing some tactics to use in combat. And I was thinking, I'll cast Spook on an enemy, make them run away, trigger an attack of opportunity from the 2 melee people. That might be pretty cool.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Especially if they're somewhere like near Bergour and Druin, or
Well,
Druin
yeah.
and Calidor, or Calidor and Bergour. They get 2 attacks of opportunity from a
hmm
solid smacker.
And
Well,
if they're,
if you could do it, what does Spook actually do?
it pretty much panics them, and they have to run directly away from me as fast as they can.
Okay. Well, I was gonna think if you could do it like on one of the big guys that we're fighting at some point, that would also take them out of the fight for a minute.
We would, yeah.
All right, sorry about that, guys. So what are we doing?
We were discussing battle.
Oh,
tactics
thanks,
and
Ronald.
stuff.
Ronald said he liked my PF2 review. Thanks very much.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun game.
It is a really fun game. I've got. I took a look at the Bestiary 2 because I got my digital copy. I got the I started buying the core rulebooks in that like faux leather or leather cover versions, which means that for whatever fucking reason they don't come with PDFs, which every other book does. And I think maybe their core rulebooks don't come with PDF copies, but so I forgot about it. I picked it up. The Bestiary 2 is like 320 pages long. It's substantially bigger than what the first PF2 Bestiary was, which is pretty cool. Because the first one was it was, I think, maybe 200-ish. I got it right here, I guess.
I was gonna say it wasn't a small book.
It wasn't small, but like for their Bestiaries though, like that's
for their bestiaries.
Yeah, it wasn't. Oh no, this was 300 and something too. So hold on, I think it's because of the in comparison to the like 500 or whatever page core rulebook, it looks small. So no, you're absolutely right. It's gonna be the same size as this one. It's just yeah.
I'm playing in a steady PF2 game on Tuesday, every other Tuesday. We're playing Extinction Curse, which is the newest module.
Yeah.
And I'm playing an Alchemist, and tell you what, I like the Alchemist.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome class.
I didn't realize what you can do with an Alchemist. I'm like, I can do what now?
Dave was playing one in Dave Uma in our PF2 game, both during the play test and also afterwards in our Barrow Maze game. And it was pretty neat. And although Dave seemed to think that the Alchemist was a melee class because that's kind of what he did every time.
You can actually make a melee class out of him.
This one was not.
Oh yeah.
It was just that he wanted to run in and hit shit. So
you need to be a mutagist for that.
Yep. Okay, so guys,
I am one.
You are down. So you guys were a little bit down beforehand, and you're down a little bit more now. How are you guys feeling? I know you got a slate of new magic items that are ready to be deployed on the Knolls, but you are fairly outnumbered, like 4-1.
Yeah,
lots.
Seems like we're kind of we'd be punching way above our weight to go after even one of the Knoll watering parties at this point.
Yeah, unless we can find a sickly group that's like, been injured by some bugbears on the way back. They've got like bugbear arrows sticking out of their backs.
Do you have
They're all
anyone
limping
that
and crippled?
Maybe picked up is there an oncology ward of Knolls somewhere that we can go in? Knolls that are recovering from chemotherapy, maybe.
Yeah.
I went with wounded by bugbears, not in chemo. But okay.
Yeah.
Calidor would definitely suggest, like, since Elanion had some kind of a dirt-based emergency come up, that
dirt-based emergency.
We should
as dirt elves are prone to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure the stones told him something. I'm not sure what, but
maybe he's investigating the reason why they're digging.
So, do you guys have ideas for what you might want to do with this then?
Go back to train.
Same thing we do
Fuck
every
these
time we're
Aarakocra.
really- Yeah.
Like, Aarakocra, it was a challenging thing. We thought we'd help.
Yeah.
Sorry, Serene. No. We could still watch, and if we see a smaller group go out, we attack. But otherwise, I think we're hunkering down for.
Well, and also it's kind of a long way to get there, so we're only seeing like one or two of their groups when we go, right? Because it's quite a trek for us to get to that sort of like copse of trees where we hang out.
Yeah. So it's because I think that the way that you guys are, what you've sort of sussed out is there's at least one group that kind of goes out at the first crack of dawn and gets back, because you guys set out around dawn. You got there, and that's around the time when one of the groups came back, and then you saw another one.
How big is the creek that they're drawing water from?
We can take a look at that map again. because I can show you. It's a fairly big map, so it's going to cause all of our computers to have a stroke here, I think.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if like we could like mess with them, like go upriver and like dam it up, or just thinking of like what we could do to like really screw them over.
Yeah, I mean,
as a small raiding party, you know,
like if you built a dam upstream from it, what it might do is it might redirect it, I guess.
Right, which would.
What if we release that dam while they're getting water?
But I mean,
Boom.
do you guys have shovels?
I probably threw it away when I got a new shield.
You got some wands of move. don't we have wands of move earth or something?
Elanion does, yes.
Yeah.
And so does Knox.
Yeah.
Oh, and so does Knox, yeah.
Dirt mages.
Dirt mages. I'm trying to find... I really need to label these fucking maps. I have...
Got a whole bunch of untitled up there?
I got them all as... To be honest, none of them are labeled right now. Maybe it's this one? Let's see here.
I'm just thinking of ways we could try and use the elements to help us, because like the four of us, you know, like, so fire, water, like what kind of things can we try to, you know, manipulate? I mean, we could try burning some of their camp down and have them redirect resources to rebuilding their battlements.
Yep.
Like we're trying to slow them down essentially so that we can.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, I got it now. Okay, so this is it is a fairly large stream.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I remembered. I thought it was a little big for that.
It was big
or something.
Yeah, and in order to in order to do that, you're going to need to have some kind of construction equipment, or at the very least some shovels and shit, or you know, what do you call them? Like the digging forks to sort of shake the earth loose so you can pry it out. That's not likely to happen here.
Damming that up is like going to be at least a week's worth of activity just from a manual labor aspect. And that's saying best case scenario, you go chop down about 50 trees and make a something you pound into the riverbed to give you something to work off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if we built a raft or a boat and we sailed through while they were getting water and we bombarded them? I guess they have ranged weapons too, so it's not like we could gain
their ranged weapons
edge there.
Dangerous.
Their ranged weapons are very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've felt those before, so.
Yeah.
So what are you guys thinking here?
So water does not seem like a good strategy without at least more of our forces. Fire would be Calidor's next thought.
Okay.
Well, felt really good.
Not evoker. I am not an evoker.
No, but we can just use traditional methods to.
Some flaming arrows, hit them in the dark, set some of their tents on fire.
Right, like, or burn down some of their, like, they've got those huge wooden barricades, you know, like.
Yeah.
If we could burn some sections of that down, they would have to redirect their efforts based on what their actions have shown to rebuild that, which would slow their digging, which would buy us more time.
I'd offer to like sneak in there while invisible, but I'm pretty sure they can smell me. So.
What if you doused yourself in some of that fishy shit?
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll coat you in bugbear fish oil, and then you sneak in there.
Smell like the fishy stuff, right? So we don't.
Yeah, none of the gnolls. Like when you think
right,
of it,
it was only the bugbears and the orcs.
Yeah, because none of the goblins smelled like that, and none of the gnolls that you've killed thus far, none of them have smelled like that.
So our idea with the bugbears was basically to try to get allies to face. Is there any other kind of source of allies that we could get to face the gnolls?
Does Serene know of anything, even if we have to travel?
That's a good question. Let's take a look at.
Well, there's what's her face in the woods with the wolves. I don't know if they'll come out this far.
An army of bugbears?
Oleana.
Yeah, Oleana, that's it.
The Oleana, I mean, she was dealing with the issue of orcs, though, yeah. So let's see here. Ooh. Let's see what else is in the region here. Bugbears. No, I mean, not really anything sentient. This whole area here really has been, unoccupied for centuries. There's never really been a human or elf or whatever settlement here that she's aware of. This is just wildland, and it's partly why the Aarakocra thought it was such a great place to stay. Here's something to consider as well, too, guys. He was a little cagey about it, but what the hell was that blade dancer doing out here? And his party?
Yeah. That's a gray elf. How's he getting along with Knox, by the way? I hear they hate humans.
Which does?
The gray elves.
Gray elves don't. No, not necessarily. The Gruagok or the wild elves, they hate humans, but they hate gnomes too, and they hate dwarves, and they hate anyone who's not an elf.
I hate them back.
We're just a pod.
Good on you. Yeah, the wild elves are ones that have completely turned their back on civilization, or at least any other kind of building, cities and things like that, civilization. The Grey Elves, normally, Calidor could tell you, they're generally the kind of highfalutin types, and where he's from is an even more secretive kind of area. We sort of brushed over or glanced over the introduction before, since we've got some time, maybe we can just, I'll give you guys a little more background here. So where you guys are is in the Yeomanry. And you guys are most likely, if you are not from the immediate region of the Yeomanry, because each of your different races, they have settlements in different places within the Yeomanry. Either close to the in the Tors, the mountains to the southern part of the Yeomanry, or the Little Hills, or in the Jotuns or the Crystal Mist Mountains. For the dwarves, for the elves, likewise, maybe in the Dreadwood. Or in the Little Hills, or if you're from somewhere else, Calidor, I think it is the Duchy of Ulek is Elven kingdom as well, too, or predominantly Elven kingdom on the far side of the Kingdom of Caelid.
Yeah.
Where Carrick says he's from is a country called Selene. And Selene is a secretive location. They sort of have, again, you can think of it like Lothlorien, where the borders are sealed and they don't let anyone in, and they're sort of thought of as this mysterious kind of whatever. And then they've traditionally kept to themselves completely. But the Greyhawk Wars forced them to open their borders and forced them to actually have at least some participation in the wider world. Whether that, for that to have driven a blade dancer to go out, what the blade dancers are common amongst all of your, all the elven tribes. They're a very, very special kind of fighter mage who basically specialize. They're called blade dancers, but it doesn't necessarily mean they use swords. Just because long swords are a traditional elven weapon, that's sort of what they typically train with. But there's blade dancers who use spears, and blade dancers who use warhammers, and there's all sorts of crazy iterations of the same kind of idea. But they're sort of seen as kind of like protectors of elves and elven kind. Which means that sometimes they can be out traveling with elves and in defense of them, and other times for pursuing elven interests.
Well, and he had said that they had gone for a walk. You went for a walk and you ended up 100 miles from home.
It's, yeah, like for him to be in this far from Selene, there's got to be some reason for that. Blade Dancers don't do anything. Imagine spending, 120 years training with one specific weapon. And I don't mean like one kind of weapon. I mean like you pick up a sword and then a century and change later, you're still training with that same specific sword. The other thing is if there's nothing around here, this isn't on the way to anywhere. This isn't the route that anyone takes to get to, Millborn or whatever. There's not a travel route here. Even the elves, to go way out of the way to go through, cross Helv's Half Acre in order to just get into Hirenshire. It either means he's coming from somewhere. Let's take a look at the map, actually, while we're doing that. It means either he's coming from somewhere, or he's going to somewhere, or there's something here that he's specifically looking for. Because, like, to the south of you guys, the Shrieking Mire will eventually make its way down into the Hool Marshes. So there's not really an awful lot of, on the far side, when the Thornwood does continue to the south, but once you get beyond that into the grasslands and then deeper into the marshes, there's not really much in the way of settlements down there. Certainly not any elven kingdoms or anything like that.
Well, and from the information we have on the other places, he's not anywhere near Threshold, which is the biggest settlement.
Yep.
Raven's Pass is just a fort.
Hampshire is pretty provincial at the best of times, right? This is sort of the backwoods of the backwoods to be out here in the hills like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I would,
Should have applied for more information.
I guess something else to consider too. There's a problem or a question you guys have been raising amongst yourselves as well too, with respect to the gnolls.
Yeah,
what are they doing?
What are they doing, and why are they here in general? And we asked Serene if they had given a demand or something, and she said yes, but she couldn't tell us what it was for.
Yeah.
And I am kind of thinking that we might need to
press her on that.
Renegotiate with her about that, because
well, what she said was that it was not hers to give.
Well, then maybe we need to go talk to the Aarakocra leaders, have them summoned, and let's have a real conversation, because we need more.
Well, did she say it was not hers to give, as in not her secret to give, or not her thing to give?
Not her secret.
Okay, that's... Yeah.
So we need to talk to the Aarakocra leaders again.
Or somebody who can speak with their authority, right? If we just send an Aarakocra back, like, hey guys, we really need to know what on earth these gnolls want. So why don't you send somebody here who's prepared to tell us?
We need to know what we're doing. Can we just harass them for days on end, or is there, something more pressing that needs to be done right away? How do we prevent them from accomplishing their task, and how do we protect the Aarakocra?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with pressing, I think because I'm picturing all of this is taking place while you guys are sitting around the fire, talking about what to do the next day.
Yeah.
It's fine. Ugh, I put my notes somewhere here and don't know where. Here you go. So Kusuk was the shaman, the Aarakocra shaman. So I think what she will do, Serene passes this information off, or passes what your concerns are over to one of the Aarakocra. Let's say it goes to Pinestalker. So Pinestalker and Fogcaller, what they say is that they will sneak out and try and get back to the Aarakocra lair, and then they will speak to the to the chieftain and the shaman and see if they can't get them to agree to come and talk to you. So hold on.
Do we want to give like a specific message to Pinestalker instead of just whatever Serene has told I'm asking the party.
Yeah.
Here, but
I think we have to trust her to communicate what our intent was.
Okay.
Is that fair?
No, I mean, we have to trust her either way. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if we want to be more specific to her about what we're asking, really.
Right.
Dave, give me a percentile check here. Dave's our weatherman. Okay.
84, like 1984.
Yeah.
You can either go George Orwell or Chicago Bears with that. I don't know. It's up to you.
Okay, so you, the Pinestalker and Fogcaller slip out later in the evening. It has been raining today, but it did actually clear up tonight. So it's a bit of a risk for them to be going in. But let's see if they get in okay. Okay. So it's a few hours that pass by until you hear the sound of the flapping wings. It's probably close to like 10 or 11 o'clock at night at this point. And you hear the sound of big wings, and Pinestalker and Fogcaller return. And you can see with them is Kusuk again. He's got that, the painted plumes and whatnot on his feathers. He's got, again, the way I've been describing him is a combination of like a birdman with like a First Nations Plains tribe headdress too. So there's colors and whatnot on the thing. He lands and looks over at all of you. And he gestures towards Druin and says something in Aarakocra. And Serene looks over at you, Druin. He says, he asks if you're injured.
Nope.
Isn't your hit points way down?
Not anymore. I'm at like 36 out of 38 or something.
Are you? I got you at 28.
Oh,
on the token?
Why it's not connecting? I'm at 37 to 38 on my character sheet.
Yeah, he healed himself with your mod.
Yeah, no,
It just maybe didn't count on the token.
Yeah, because it shows the character. I don't know why it's not.
Oh, it's not connecting to hit points, or to mine to the. Yeah, I did it on my character sheet. No,
That's weird.
no, it says 38.
Huh.
If I do this, 37, does it change?
Yeah, it changes now. Yeah, it was weird. Maybe you need to change it on the token in order for it to... No, because you just changed it. Did you just put it back up again, Dave?
I changed it to 37.
Yeah, and it's at 37 on the token now.
Okay.
Change it to 38 again? Let's see what happens. Yep, that worked. Okay. So no, he does not say that because you are not injured. Just showing your token is down. Now that I look on closer inspection, no. So
You're just ugly.
He comes over and sort of like sits himself down. He leans on this the spear or javelin that he was carrying with him, and he looks over at the lot of you, and he squawks out something, and the Serene... Hold on, I'm going to check one thing here. Let's see. Okay. So he gestures on that big, staff that has feathers tied to it and whatnot, gestures towards Serene and says something in Aarakocra, and she looks back at you guys and says, Kusuk says that you have bled for the Featherfall tribe. You are entitled to know the secrets. At least such that impact your ability to defend us. Ask your questions. And he sits back and kind of leans on his staff.
Okay.
So I'll tell to Serene. We think we need to know what it is that the Gnolls demanded from the Featherfall tribe.
And he sort of nods, and he's got a look of kind of like of, if you can read it on his bird-like face, it's a look of like solemnity and like, I know, of course you want to know that. And what he says is the treasure of the Featherfall. He says it through her. He says something, squawks it again. She says the treasure of the Featherfall. A gift, he says, from generations ago.
What is this a physical thing? Is it a blessing of some sort?
He nods. A gift from the elves. And he gestures forward, and there's sort of dust that goes up in the air, and what forms, it looks like a crystal sphere of some kind set into what might be a stand or maybe a scepter. And says, this is the orb of storms. From before men walked these lands, the elves were crafters of wondrous creations. And one such creation was, and he gestures towards it, the orb of storms. It's said that a master of elemental magics spent his entire long life crafting this, and he and his disciples poured all of their magical energy and the master's very life into this. But the winds are not a serene or easily tamed thing. And so he bound another spirit in it, with it. A powerful wind demon. And balanced their spirits and the elven enchantments. It is a potent force for manipulating the very climate around the wielders. Such was the generosity of the elves that they granted it to the Featherfall, but also to keep it. With such power comes potentially devastating consequences on others, and the elves knew that the Featherfall would keep this secret and away from those who would abuse it. However, the spirits bound in the storm or in the orb of storms are not quiet. The master comes to us and speaks to the high priest of the Featherfall, the wise one who leads them. The other spirit whispers to a darker heart. The gnolls have been called here by that darker spirit, and they will not rest until they possess it. We would flee, but our clutch, our generation is here. We cannot flee, and we cannot turn the orb over to them. You see the predicament we are in.
So they are digging in order to gain access to your tunnels.
They're not digging. They're building.
What are they building?
Why would they build a tower above the Aarakocra settlement?
I cannot speak to the mind of those things. This is Serene speaking. But they have been trying every devilish trick they can conceive of, using ropes. They may simply be building a device to lower themselves down.
Oh, like a siege tower that bends over they can just run down the stairs or something, maybe.
Once they have access, they need only access the highest of the stones. If they wish to dig their way in, they would be digging through hundreds of feet of rock. It is solid stone. These cliffs are a fortress. The only way they can reach in is through... They have tried their initial forays in, sending gnolls down on ropes. We picked them off, one by one, using arrows and deadly accurate javelins. But they learned and began sharing or using those lethal bows to cover their brethren. But even with them able to access it with ropes, they were not able to bring down enough. We were able to drive them off one at a time. Big they may be, vicious they may be, they were not fighting in their elements. But if they can lower themselves down in numbers, we will not be able to keep them out.
Kev, what was the? There's two entities in the Orb of Storms, Wind Demon and a what?
Two, and the master who he gave, who created this thing. He gave his life.
Elven Master.
Yes, and his spirit joined with it.
So just for confirmation, I'll ask which party of elves gave this to the Aarakocra.
It's a he's not really able. He's got a name for them. It's okay. Not Carrick's tribe. It's not Calidor's tribe.
All right.
Which is not unusual for something this old.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
you know.
Yep. But he's not able to say like it was the Grey Elves versus it was the Wood Elves, or.
They kind of all look alike to them, and also like this is not within his lifetime. This is something that happened.
Something that happened.
But
I'm wondering if they have like a tradition of like the story that how it happened or something.
And he does like he could probably tell you the whole story. But I think that what you're thinking as a dwarf is this is why you write shit down, is because whatever story has happened here too, you don't have confidence that it's necessarily the way things happened.
Yep.
Right. So
the problem of oral traditions.
Mm-hmm. But what they say is it is. I mean, it does seem what you know about Aarakocra Calidor is they are not hostile to elves. they're not necessarily friends with them, but I mean they do occupy, especially the wood elves. They occupy some of the same wild places in the Flanace, in the lands of Greyhawk.
Right.
It's not, it's not unthinkable that they would do this. What a reckless thing to build, though. Like for it's not the first time you've seen. I mean, you guys are. Some of you are carrying weapons from a conflict that is the personification of the foolhardiness of the can afflict the elves. But what a stupid thing to build, to combine your life force with the demons to try and make a powerful storm artifact.
Typical overreaching mages.
Yeah, and you know what? It would not. One way of thinking is this. That's not the. I mean, certainly not the kind of stuff that your kind elves typically associate like demon worship or like demon summoning spells with the drow. Like there is. All of you would have grown up with lessons for what happens when you truck with demons. There's a whole, boogeyman race that you guys have, or that you're aware of, that represent why you don't fuck around with demons, because they lie and they distort you and all this other stuff. So this guy did this after the kind of the Elven Wars. It's probably not something that would have been welcomed by the, if his tribe had known about it. So another reason, if that's what he did, the elves may have been like, get this fucking thing out of here, and may have trusted it to them. On the other hand, it may have just been stolen by some clever Aarakocra who told his tribe that it was a gift, and then that tradition was passed down. You don't...
Is there any kind of like, wondering if I can get a read on Carrick as he shows off this thing?
He seems to be, I mean, he doesn't break, you can't understand him for one, and he's a bird man, so it's tough.
No, not on the Aarakocra, on Carrick the elf.
Carrick, while he's hearing this, I think this is news to him. This is not, he's hearing this, and this is, he doesn't seem upset necessarily, but it's news to him. If anything, I would suggest that, and I mean, if Brent feels differently, obviously we'll take what his feeling is. Yeah. But I think that the best way to describe it would be that he is enraptured by this story. He seems fascinated by this. Carrick, if he was around, is probably the one who gave you the backstory about the sword and gave you context for what it was. He seems to know a great deal about elven history as well, which is maybe not a surprise with a blade dancer. But even for a blade dancer, Caldor, Carrick seems to know an awful lot about elvish history.
Right.
So, my next question, asking, is there a way to leverage this thing as like a weapon? Like, can we call down the thunder and lightning on the gnolls or something like that? Or is that not really how it works?
We can, but when you call on one, you call on both. Mm-hmm. That is the folly of this device, or this relic, is that it, if you empower and call on the spirit of the Elven Master, you also will give a way out, or a way of give voice to the demon within. So we could, but it would be as uncontrollable and unpredictable as, say, a storm itself.
Yeah.
You may have noticed the amount of unseasonable rain that we've been having lately. That is the demon growing stronger.
Hmm.
We are entrusting you. This is a secret of the Featherfall. And as protectors of the Featherfall, we are trusting you with this secret. None other than the Featherfall can know this. It is too tempting of a prize, which is why we stay where we do, away and apart.
It might not be related, but do you think we should ask them about the bugbears? If they've had any run-ins with the bugbears?
We know that we have seen them from high above. They are clever and stealthy, but we've had no... They have kept to themselves, we have kept to ourselves.
They're trying to collect powerful artifacts and wizards, spellcasters, shamans.
The bugbear are.
Yeah.
And they have this weird smelling potion stuff, and I'll ask
out.
if he knows anything about that.
Okay. No, it's news to him. To Serene as well, too. She says, you found this on them?
They made Calidor drink some of it.
And she smells it, and then kind of like, oh. Like, it finally makes sense to her that, oh, this is why you've been smelling the way you have been for the last 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
We can even tell them a little bit about the dream and how you were influenced.
Yeah.
That's of great concern to both of them. I mean, for Kusuk more so just because, it's another threat for his tribe and his acolytes. He's not the only shaman among their numbers. So if you're saying that they're preying on those who, wield magic, whether divine or arcane, that's a concern for his. Although, where the Featherfall home is, how would they get to us? They, unless they caught us on the ground, and we are far too clever for that. They would have great difficulty finding us. The gnolls are going to great lengths in order to find some way to access our home.
Druin says it might not be just bugbears, though. So we fought some orcs in the Thornwood, and he looks over to Serene, because we had told her about that before.
We've seen them.
And the orcs in the Thornwood also smelled fishy. And a bugbear that was with the goblins in Heathertop also had this potion on it, and one of our other characters had tried it there, and apparently it had a similar dream. So this is something that's got far-reaching implications. It's not just one tribe of bugbears.
You can see that Kusuk kind of leans forward and thinks, and he says something to Serene, and she sort of nods for whatever he says, and he says that there's been a black wind blowing from the east, from somewhere in the Thornwood. They hunt further west, and he has warned off his the warriors before the gnolls came. He warned them off that part. There's something in the dark heart of that forest that brings an ill wind this way.
Is there a source of water within the forest?
Many. A
large source?
The Churnet rolls south as well too. There's many creeks that go in. If you're asking whether there's a body of water, no, nothing.
Body of water like a lake, or
nothing so large as to there are small bodies of water, but nothing substantial.
And what about like this kind of underground cavern thing? Are there do they know anything about the geology of anywhere around here? Like if there are aquifers or something like that, like a large underground.
You mean what you saw in your dream?
Well, it wasn't my dream, but it was, yes.
My dream.
Yeah. So there's rumors. This is Serene who says this. There's rumors among the miners that over the years there have been mines that have opened up to deeper locations, but anytime those are discovered, that shaft is sealed and a new shaft is sunk. Do you know old Grizzler?
Pretty well by now.
I don't know him myself, but Geralt told me that in his years that he worked there, Geralt mapped out some of those mines, and ones that led deeper as well.
Interesting.
The mines themselves are restricted to the Blandride Hills to the north of Milbourne, but it's said that there are vast caverns and tunnels that run very, very deep beneath. It said that some from the Great Rock Dale, some of their humanoid tribes found there, they venture further down and trade with the blasphemous things that live in the bowels of the earth. Some of your kind, it said as well, gestures towards Bergour and Druin. It said that some of your kind lurk down there. She's of course referring to the Dvergar, the same dark dwarves who crafted your weapons and shield, Calidor. But we don't see their kind here, if that's what you're asking. If you ask whether we know of any ways of accessing, we've not heard any, nor have we heard things from deep in the earth. Apart from those teamless hordes in the Great Rock Dale. But there is talk of the Soul, that ancient kingdom. All those greedy fools leaving... I got on my shirt. Where is it? Eastdale. Heading off into the Great Rock Dale. Yeah, for those listening home, I have my Milbourne shirt on.
So, rumors amongst the miners about deeper mines and caverns in the Blandride Hills?
Yes, to the north of Milbourne.
Talk to Old Grizzler for more details, perhaps?
Old Grizzler had said he has, in his long years, he worked as a miner. And you see here, there's Milbourne, and then Blandride Hills. Lord Carmen's family, that's where they've made their riches, primarily. They own a lot of land here, too, but their primary riches are from the mines in the Blandride Hills. The Patchwork Hills aren't mined just because there's not really much in the way of riches to be found there. And Citadel Silver, for that matter, there's a reason the dwarves are there, is because the riches to be found in the Blandride Hills. And then the Soul, the Great Rock Dale, some say that the Great Rock Dale is not a natural formation. Remember what you've heard way back a couple months ago when you were shooting the shit at the Baron, is that it's said that some massive, Soul magic, something that akin to what scorched the bright desert to the east of here, that something like that is what caused it, and that may have driven some of those ruins down deep, deep, deep into those dark places that you're speaking of. But why would those things care what's happening here? Why would those things turn their attention when there are their own machinations to consider and to pursue?
Well, it seemed that that fishy oil possess some mind control, some way of making them do its bidding.
If
And
that's the
also
case, how
One of our own guys would go after his own party member.
His own half brother. No, it really was the half brother. Elanion.
Yeah.
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 Although Rilligo went after Elanion too, didn't he?
Yeah.
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 When if we survive this, I will need to get word to my brother Rangers. Kuiper and Geralt should know of this threat. If they're active here, and with the predominance of eel fishermen up and down the Churnet, how would you ever know to look for someone smelling of fish?
They're trying to grab wizards and such. Wizards and shamans. You wouldn't know.
Wasn't there was a girl that went missing as well? Geralt told me.
Yes.
The owners of the Perella's daughter. Jessica. She was a wizard, was she not?
An apprentice, yes.
We found her belongings in Heathertop.
Yes, we did.
Those books that you found, the ones that your elf friend was studying, wizard spell books, yes? You think
Yes.
they taken as well?
One of them was also we found some scrolls that looked similar handwriting, I believe. Is that the connection we made with the priest of Farlon?
Yeah. Yeah, the scrolls would have been definitely crafted by someone who worships Farlon. There's just elements of it in there that would... You can still use them, Dave. It's just that they're written by that. And then you found that that silver symbol, the symbol of Farlon.
Yeah. So, and we found a silver symbol of a priest of Farlon and some scrolls penned by the cleric himself.
Do you know where they're going?
They're not going anywhere now with these ones, but the bugbears have collected them.
Did you find the owners of these spell books? Of the symbol?
Didn't see any bodies.
Then where have they gone? If they're taking them, where are they taking them? We've seen no sign of this. At least we, the Rangers, have seen no sign of this. We knew that some were going missing, but we knew not where. We assumed murdered or traveled on. There is a deeper conspiracy here. But it seems the Knolls... Are the Knolls part of this same will?
We haven't smelled anything fishy on the 2 Knoll patrols that we fought.
Knoll Patrol. It's the least popular or most traumatizing children's cartoon. They teach you how to spell and, commit cannibalism. So.
Turn your dog into
Lunch.
Yeah.
a fanatical creature that's going to eat you for lunch.
So these... How will we keep the Featherfall safe? How will we save them?
Our wizards are looking into some things right now. When they return, hopefully we'll have a better idea, but we'll have to attack some of
We
their
can do,
scouting parties.
if you wish, Kusuk has said he will draw on the Orb of Storms, but it cannot be predicted what the consequence will be. You may not find yourself safe from those elements as well. If you find that would assist in your strategy, they will do that.
That might have to be a last-ditch effort.
That's the feeling of the Featherfall Aarakocra as well. Do you guys have any other questions for him?
No, that was good information, though.
Very generous to share it.
Well, we thank you for sharing yours as well. And Serene as well, too. So have you sensed anyone else? Have you suspected anyone else of this, having consumed this potion? And Calidor, are you free of its influence now?
I have not felt anything since last night. It was last night, right?
It was
Or 2 nights ago.
yesterday morning. Yeah, when what do you call it? When Bergour used that magical command to free you.
And I didn't have any dreams this last night, so...
You did not. No. Bless you.
Sorry. Druin's like, one other thing. We did uncover, was it the Scarlet Brotherhood? Was smuggling weapons into Melbourne. That's fairly, smuggling swords and daggers doesn't seem to be quite the thing when you start looking at what we've just talked about, but that's another thing that's happening in the region that you might want to be aware of. An overt effort by the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Yeah, what Serene says is that we've heard in neighboring counties neighboring shires that they have there's rumors of them active. But you say that you found evidence that they were moving weapons.
Weapons, armor, and pamphlets to inspire uprising. We don't know where they were heading. But
do you think they are connected with this potion or this creature from below?
we don't know.
We don't have any evidence to connect them.
So little is known of the Brotherhood too, and they seem to pride themselves on misinformation and rumor and reputation.
Mm-hmm. So to have something as out in the open as pamphlets and raising arms against the yeomanry seems maybe a little too forward, perhaps? Or
so I hear, or until the wars. After the wars, they seem to act what was once a rumor and something whispered as causing the downfalls of kingdoms. It seems that they have elected to operate more openly now. Though whether that is a sign of strength or of weakness, I don't know. So many things bedeviling us at once. But the first, what do you wish to do? What can we do then with these gnolls? If we use the power of the Orb of Storms, Kusuk says it will not be safe for any to be aloft. The Aarakocra at best would be on foot, and they are not creatures of the ground. They will help you, but if it comes where the winds blow, as they've said has happened in ages past, it could break their wings in air. You may be on your own. Though, of course, and she kind of gestures with her unstrung bow, you have my bow.
We may yet need that with not being able to find allies in the bugbears and having them backstab us in the night.
Not relying on the bugbears may prove to be a blessing in disguise. My experience with them over the years, they are murderers and liars. Whatever, had they entered into an agreement with you, they would have betrayed that agreement at the earliest opportunity.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they did.
And
Thankfully, they didn't do it while we were fighting the gnolls.
indeed. There are many things I would prefer to turn to before I would rely on the trustworthiness of a bugbear. But any trouble for the gnolls would certainly assist us. So what think you then? What are your plans? How do we drive these gnolls off? As I said, the gnolls are they are not far removed from the ancestors from which their demonic masters crafted them. And they think like a dog or hound. If you defeat their master, they may quickly lose their nerve.
We were thinking of attacking them when they get water, or attacking a hunting party and trying whittling their numbers down a little, hoping to draw out one of the masters.
I see. A sound plan. You've taken... Well, I mean, she knows that, I guess, because she was part of that last attack, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She says, you say their numbers are doubled, though. Do we wish to attack on in force and try and take them down?
I think we have to take at least one more group getting water or hunting.
Yeah,
bring the numbers down a little bit.
But is that what she's referring to?
Yeah.
I think realistically, like, attacking a bigger group is bad, but attacking the camp with a whole lot more than that is worse. So,
Yep.
if
That
our
might be our
goal is
best
to kill
plan,
gnolls, our best option is to keep attacking the smaller groups.
Well, and the advantage you have is because of the way you guys disposed of the bodies, absent any kind of magic, how will they ever know how you did that?
Which is really awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Throw them all into the pit spell and then...
Yeah, well, then using the wand of Move Earth, it just, you've completely... the Earth has completely swallowed them up. Barring them doing some serious excavating, they would never know.
Next time we should just leave like a finger or a hand sticking up, so they know that it's down there, and then make them like do a whole bunch of digging and work.
So do you wish to be there? You said that there was an attack at dawn, or a patrol that went out today at dawn, and another at night, or at dusk.
Seems like we could time it to intercept the one that leaves at dawn, or that we think leaves at dawn, to hit them, about as they're getting to the river. We'd have to leave, during the night in the darkness. But if we have Serene guiding us, she can probably guide us through the dark forest, right?
She cannot see in the dark.
Oh, right, because she's a human.
She's human.
Should have been an elf, Serene.
They also get like resistance to charm and sleep.
Okay, never mind.
Hold on. Wait, she may... I'll check something.
Oh, look at that. She's a half-elf.
Nah.
just discovered Carl Sargent left a note that Serene had experimental eye surgery to give herself
I have been reading
Cybernetic eyes.
a lot of Shadowrun recently. So she's actually got cyber eyes with the ultravision.
And she also has a bald head and looks very manly, and she was in a movie called Pitch Black.
Yeah, really. Okay.
Well,
Yep.
if we can't get out there,
If one of you leads, she says, like, I can follow. I can make my way. And your people set a comfortable pace, Bergour.
Yep. Well, we could have Calidor's in heavy armor now, and he's not interested in taking it off. But Elanion and Carrick are still pretty light, so they
Yep.
could do their ahead of the party sneaky thing.
Okay.
And then the rest of us, go through the woods, leave early enough in the night or in the wee hours of the morning that we could intercept the dawn water party and do another shot at killing some gnolls.
Yeah.
Before whatever main assault we would attempt.
Yeah.
I do think that is a sound plan.
and
No.
Druin has two extra spells that he,
Necromancy is trucking with the dead. Summoning
Yeah.
demons is a different kind of magic. That's more like extra planar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Technically, the necromancy taps into another plane as well in D&D, but it's the negative energy
Negative
plane.
material. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That seemed to me.
that's also something we didn't ask Kusuk. Is there a way to exercise the demon out of this thing, even if it makes it weaker? Or...
It's the power, whatever ancient enchantment bound this thing, and this is unique in all the Flanace. This thing is made of the most powerful kind of magic that can be found in the world, and to tamper with that thing even assuming you could somehow get it, get your meager magics to, or this is him referring to his meager magics to be able to try and crack that enchantment. There's no telling what would happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And say we put down a demon before. It was a little hairy, but
This thing is something he doesn't doubt your bravery and your power. Demons are among the most terrifying things to be, unleashed on the world. And if what you found, was it in its most powerful state?
oh, I doubt it. It was in imprisoned for centuries,
Yeah.
starving state.
So this, we would not want to be facing this thing as well too. Imagine something
Yep.
powerful enough, whose will is powerful enough to be able to shape hundreds of miles of climate, render, solar forests, vast stretches of forests into deserts by denying them rain, drowning cities in unending rain, batter, entire fleets of ships into flinders with unrelenting hurricanes. It is terrifying what this demon the power that seems to be at its hand.
Sounds like it.
Kev, before we head out for the ambush, can I get a clarification on a rule?
Of course.
So Clangadin's spell Silverbeard
Yep.
provides an AC bonus using an unusual shield in combat. It's the Silverbeard spell.
Yep.
In AD&D Second, it has different types of armor and protection that all can stack or not, depending upon which bonus they're providing, correct?
Well, it's not quite like the third edition. They're really inconsistent with it. Like they don't.
Oh, okay.
Third edition did the thing where they sort of set out specific types of bonuses and then types of bonuses, like from
Like
third
AC
edition
bonus.
forward. Yeah, all those and Pathfinder they use nomenclature for different kinds of bonuses. It says like it's sort of up to the unless it says specifically what would stack. Like usually. Armor bonuses do not stack. So if you're getting an AC bonus, unless it specifically says it stacks with armor, it won't.
Yeah. So this specifically says it confers a bonus of +1. So you either have a base 8 versus base AC of 8, 7 if a shield is also born, or if you're wearing armor, a +1 bonus for the duration of the spell. +1 AC bonus for the duration of the spell.
Yeah.
So another spell that I was looking at looks like it's different. It's a protection sphere. Grants a penalty of -2 to the attack roll. That's different, right?
Yes. Yep. That's different.
Okay. So that would stack then.
It would stack. Absolutely. Well, it wouldn't give you. It would give a penalty to the attack roll. It wouldn't.
So, but the net difference to Druin would is if he had Silverbeard and protection from evil on.
Yep.
He'd have +3 AC.
Yep. Yep. They would both make it harder for you to be hit.
Okay. Guess who's taking protection from evil? Also good against mind affecting spells.
Yeah.
And extraplanar creatures, which we don't hopefully have to fight.
Well, those gnolls. It said that some of them breed with demons. That's why they. Yeah. That's why they're
That's
said.
how we're gonna get the Flint in here, huh?
It's on the Flint.
It always turns out to be a sex thing.
Well, sex, money, and power are the three things that fuel most of crime in the world. So
Yeah.
why would it be different in fantasy?
Or is it someone had suggested for me the
What? Fifth.
where was it? There's that great new that thing from one of the old Dragon magazines inserts. Where is it? Where'd they put it? Oh gosh, it was in the AD&D thing. But there's a kind of like a were-jackal, like kind of subspecies thing that also occurs within them, and that sounds pretty fucking awesome to me. So there's a chance that you may find them in their number as well too. For whatever reason, they never made an appearance in any D&D game after that.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a shame because they're super fucking badass.
Yeah, in my my homebrew game with the Twilight Reach, where all the players are undead.
Yep.
I actually have a desert setting where the we have elves as the base race, but infected with some kind of lycanthropy that turns them into gnolls as a hybrid, and they can turn into like were-jackals when they go full on beast mode.
Oh, cool.
So.
What was I gonna say? Well, anyway, like that's just I've got the thing saved that I wanted from it. Here, is that it? No. Yes, it's called a Guna.
Ooh, Guna.
Guna is it's in the general tab or general channel of the Dungeon Musings Discord server. They are bite damage, 4 to 16 damage on a bite.
No.
Mm-hmm.
44 for those of you who don't get.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's something that I think that Serene could probably tell you that the Guna, these things that can transform into like prehistoric hyenas, they're also found in there. That's a blessing from their demon masters. So if the demon is calling out to try and be freed of this thing, they would find eager listeners among the gnolls.
Sling's the big one.
Yeah, it would almost reverberate in their blood, driving them to do this.
Okay.
So go ahead, Arlen.
I sort of understand what it would mean to the Aarakocra to leave their clutch behind, but is there any possibility that like the remaining Aarakocra could fly away and find somewhere else and lose a generation of Aarakocra and still have some way to perpetuate the tribe.
It is, with our numbers diminished by the first wave of gnolls.
Yeah.
It would mean that they died for nothing, and it may lead to the end of the Featherfall. There are few safe places in this world for the Aarakocra. And and this is Kusuk translating or speaking through Serene, we have a task set to us thousands of years ago. We would not shirk that responsibility now. And the winds have brought us you. The slayers of gnolls, the heroes of Harenshire. And Serene kind of looks at you guys and says his words.
Really?
And you look at him, and he seems completely earnest in it, too. Like, he genuinely takes this as a divine sign that you guys showed up.
Yep.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, Clangeddon may have brought you here, right? Like, what a glorious battle. Holy smokes.
Okay, well, Calor has a plan, but he doesn't want to discuss it in front of them. He wants to talk about it over with his allies before he would bring it up with...
Of course. So let's say this. Is there anything else you guys wish to ask of Kusuk? So if not, he will leave then. The other two Aarakocra will accompany him back to Featherfall, leaving you guys to discuss the matter. Now, do you want Serene around, or do you want Serene gone?
Well, I'll talk about it in front of the group, our main group first.
Sure.
And then...
Well, let's say, you know what? Let's say that what the opportunity you have is the four of you guys. Let's say Serene's talking to the rest of the party, and you've got the four of you guys aside. Rilligo's playing a fairly quiet song, you know.
He's chatting up Carrick.
Yeah.
Chatting up Serene, more like.
Yeah. That is very true.
Serene basically intoned that they were building something that they could use to lower a number of themselves down for a massive attack. It's a little bit dangerous, but what if we allowed them to complete this device, to board their numbers on it and begin their descent, and while they are vulnerable, destroy it, sending it crashing down the side of the cliff and taking out a great number of the gnolls.
That sounds.
I approve of that.
Like, yeah. We could use the wands to weaken a section of the ground under the palisade, so the palisade collapses, giving us immediate access to the base of whatever it is they're building, and then have a pit, maybe some fire spells, whatever, to destroy the thing at the base and just watch them go tumbling over the cliffside.
Right. We could use this time to try and learn more about this device, and then prepare our sort of countermeasures in the meantime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to send the biggest force over in one, but we still probably have to deal with at least half their force.
Well, no, but from the way Serene explained it, they tried sending smaller forces, but that wasn't enough. So
you think they're going to commit like all of their forces to the thing?
Well,
not all of their forces, but an amount that they feel they're confident is going to overtake the Aarakocra, especially the Aarakocra with our assistance. You know, so maybe it's still worth running another mission at the water source in the meantime and thinning their numbers a little more.
Yeah, give them a kind of push to hurry up.
Right.
Do you guys remember what you faced when you first started making your way up the cliff face?
Yeah, they had those gnolls with
Archers.
like ropes tied to them, and then they were just leaning over the cliff face, shooting straight down.
That seemed like a bunch of bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for them to suddenly to have all that shit available.
But they've been planning it and working it.
Yeah, so that may play into their plan in some way.
So Druin's like,
So if I were a gnoll, the way I would attack
Woof.
is I would have the archers over the side to keep the Aarakocra stuck
Pinned in.
inside their caves, right? Put as many archers as I could reasonably get across the cliff face, shooting down or ready to shoot down, so the Aarakocra would have to stay inside their caves. Also, because you would assume that the Aarakocra wouldn't all be in the topmost cave. And while they could move up to there, that would take time. And then send the thing over, whatever contraption it is, to get down to and bring as big a force of gnolls as I think it would take to cut them all down. They probably have a good idea that they've killed off a lot of the warriors, so it depends on their assumption about the Aarakocra's abilities as to how many they would actually send down. But one of the big things in sieges is that it's kind of all or nothing, right? An assault, if you lose the assault, your men just get cut down as they try to run because there's nowhere to run. So I would send a pretty big force of gnolls on the attack. With that in mind, without more information, I think it's hard to say how we would actually destroy the contraption they're building, right? But definitely, I agree, Calidor, that's something that we should be working on, is figuring out what they're actually building and how we would destroy it.
unless we
Right.
can draw out a leader sooner than that, and they're, like pack mentality. We kill the
Yeah,
leaders and they
unless we
disperse
can-
because now they have no reason to keep pushing for this, right? The gnolls are
Yeah. Although, if the gnolls are actually being called by like a demon, who's to say that the gnolls wouldn't, one
Keep
of the
pushing.
strongest gnolls wouldn't turn into the new leader, right? I
Right.
guess that's sort of my question, is that yes, they're pack animals, but a pack has a new alpha after the old alpha goes, right? That's one of the kind of issues that I see with if the leader is like exceptional for a gnoll, right? And he was armored in different armor, so maybe he is, maybe he's not. But if the leader is not necessarily like exceptionally charismatic or something, holding the gnolls together by his force of will, then I would guess if we kill him, there'll just be another gnoll who steps
Right.
up to a leadership position.
Druin's thinking
what's-
more along the lines of the hooded one.
The hooded one, yeah,
If
that's
it's some
good.
kind of a shaman or a wizard or something, then
Yeah,
that's
because they couldn't
likely what
replace that.
that's
Yeah.
well, and that's likely what the demon is reaching out to, right? Something with the ability to command the orb and
Or many will step forward to try to be the leader, and they could fight among themselves. So definitely, if we can kill one or both of the two leaders, that would be great. I think the question is, similarly to if I were a gnoll planning the assault, how would I do it? If I were a gnoll in the leadership position, I wouldn't go on any of the forays out of the camp if you had a big camp put together, unless you like absolutely had to make that kind of show of strength.
well, that's
Right.
just it. If we do enough damage to the scouts and he's hiding in the camp, he's going to start looking weak, and he might have to leave the camp to come out and fight to
Yeah.
show that his beta is that no, I've still got control of this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. I think there's no reason to not continue our a plan of assaulting at the water source. I mean, if we think after examining it, we can, take out another section of the.
Well,
But,
and we don't want to become predictable. So maybe we hit the water source only one more time, and then they send a bigger force out of the water source. Say, hey guys, while you're out getting water, we took down your palisades and burned down 5 of your tents. Mess with them a little bit. Druin's like, that's the
Yeah.
kind of crap that goblins will always do to us. Like they don't always
Yep.
attack from the same spot. They'll attack until you send a force out, and then they'll attack somewhere else. So we got to think like, if we become predictable, then that's easier for us to be overcome.
Yeah, and with all this
Absolutely.
guerrilla tactic, it's going to make them want to move faster to get their thing completed sooner, and they might make some mistakes that we can take advantage of.
Do you know how far
Yeah.
along they are?
We don't. That's it.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that seems like we need to do our morning attack, and then we need to figure out a way to get somebody who can get eyes on the project.
Well,
If only we had
Dorman,
some way of
could
turning
you-
invisible.
Could
Yeah,
you
we'll
like
run
actually
pretty fast.
climb up the side of the palisade, or is it like stripped bare enough? that
Even
you
if it's
couldn't-
stripped bare, thieves can climb it. They can try.
and
Alright.
a thief mage with spider climb can climb anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the advantage. Like that's the sort of like superpower that thieves have in this is that there's a penalty if it's really slick or whatever else, but that's what the thief climb ability is. They can get up shit that nobody else can. This is Conan at the side of the Tower of the Elephant.
Elephant.
Okay.
Tower of the Elephant. Yeah.
And then I don't
know-
remember.
I knew you liked
if-
that, Dave.
Fucking best story ever. Oh,
It is.
sorry.
It is a great story.
Remember, I am slow though, so
Yeah.
And you're not Conan.
And-
In fairness,
Certainly
Just throw that
not
out there.
Conan.
Dorman, you are
Conan
great.
cannot cast
Dorman, you're
color
awesome.
spray.
I'm not that far off.
Dorman, you do a lot of great things, but you're not Conan.
Conan can't cast color spray.
Thank God, but he's bet you
Calidor-
standing in the line.
Calidor's a good climber too.
So
Calidor,
that's going to be Druin's new chant when we're in the middle of a fight. Dorman, be like Conan. Don't cast color spray.
So, basically, what you'd be rolling against, if it was after rain, then it would probably be minus 25% to your chance. But otherwise, it's just going to be whatever your thief climb check is.
It'd be a 50 about that point.
No, but I mean, in spite of you have been getting rain quite often, but it's about a 30% or 33% chance of rain.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if any of you guys have weather sense as a proficiency. I think actually Serene might. But that's what she'll be able to tell you how often it is. If you get a day where it's dry, then it's going to be whatever your climb check is.
Yeah. So my climb
So-
check normally is like 75.
Isn't Caldor's way better too?
Well, I have a racial penalty because I'm small. but
Well,
also
listen,
get
I'm
a-
not asking why. I'm just asking whether he does.
But
I think
Calidor
we're about
has
equal.
Yeah, but Caldor's
Yeah,
got-
Calidor has to take his armor off.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
climb is a
Yeah.
70.
Oh, is it 70? Okay.
Well, that's with the 15% armor penalty.
Oh,
Oh, holy shit.
So if he takes off his
Really?
armor, he's a better
Yeah.
climber than I am.
Yeah.
A what penalty?
Armor.
A 15% armor penalty.
Yeah. So he's got an
Yeah.
85% chance.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
70. Remember, like if you fail, all it means is that you can't progress, right? Like it doesn't mean you fall.
Yeah. So then the question is, if we could get somebody up over the outer palisade, how do we get them into a position where they can get us information about what's going on inside? Because there's a second palisade around what they're building, right?
Just send somebody in there that's good at climbing and invisible.
Well, but then if they have to go up one side and then down the other and then across an open area, the hyenas will just smell them.
So
Possible.
Druin was thinking about that because Dorman had mentioned that earlier. So if we have one more scrap with gnolls, get some gnoll clothing.
I have
Where's
a better idea.
what?
So
Trouble-
Calidor smells like fish, right?
Yeah, but they don't smell like fish.
And we have 20 potions of fishy, smelly stuff
But they
that
don't
we could
smell
just
like
have Aarakocra's drop randomly in the encampment, so they don't know where the smell's coming from.
Just drop the fish potion, like
Randomly in different
On-
areas.
on
Didn't you guys
tents and
hold
shit?
on? Didn't you guys just burn them up before you left the bugbear camp?
We
we burned
like two
one
in
up,
there.
or we tested one up. Did it burn?
No, it like vaporized and stank like fish.
Yeah, we didn't
Okay,
destroy all
well,
of
so
them.
we have 19 of them that we didn't burn.
Okay.
Well, and we had 4 from before
Yeah.
in the party loot.
So, and I'm thinking just scent, you can overwhelm it. So,
Sure, that might work, but what also might work is taking like a gnoll's clothing or something like that and smearing it around yourself so that you smell like a gnoll. Like up close, if a hyena comes running and it's not near a fishy spell, like
Definitely get a knoll to pee on you, and then you'll be fine.
Nolpy.
Knoll pee.
And just it's better to overwhelm than try to mask. But that's just my experience.
Well, I know, but you know how big that camp is? If you drop a vial of fish stuff 20 places, it's still going to be huge areas where that doesn't smell like fish stuff.
Yeah.
Like if this was a 20 by 20 foot room and you did that, that'd be totally different because you're covering most of the area. But that camp is huge.
Well, it's an idea. Think on it.
What if, is there some way, I'm trying to think if there's any way we could get the gnolls to actually drink the fish stuff.
I don't know about that. If they're already demon
Well, so what I'm
something else
wondering
gets
is
on them.
if there's a way to do it and if that would be helpful at all, because if only some of them drink the fish stuff, maybe they'll
They might
turn
fight
on
each
each other
other.
like Calidor did.
And turn on their wizard guy, their shaman.
And turn on their
Oh,
wizard guy, because they
yeah.
hate wizards when they're...
If the thing
That's
is,
awesome. We
Yeah,
just need
if-
someone to sneak in and put it into their water. Oh, wait a second.
the leaders were saying get the spell chuckers. Maybe the mind behind the potions wants them to go after casters.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what we're thinking.
That's exactly what it is. So we put the fish oil into their food or water supply or something, and maybe that will make them turn on their caster guy.
They'll be able to smell it in the water. They might not even drink it, but I don't know. That's a good idea.
That's worth trying. I would rather use the fish stuff for that.
Are there like two leaders, one big hefty guy and one spellcaster guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get
And
it
we
on the
don't know
big,
which
big
is the-
hefty, the big strong guy, and then he'll go after, send the leaders against each other.
That would be harder to pinpoint, but if we could just get it into their food somehow or their water.
I don't know. The smell might prohibit it.
Even if a couple of guys are drunk and they drink some of the water, you know, like it only takes a couple. Go chasing down their caster and beat him to a pulp while he's
Or even just a couple to cause some chaos while we cause some chaos somewhere else.
I'm wondering if I could. They're probably
That's
too
a-
powerful for a sleep spell, but I can nail just about anybody with color spray, and while they're out in the mouth, and then let them go back to camp.
Yeah, but
So you're saying leave a survivor after we do an attack on a water patrol, and make him drink some of the fishy stuff while he's sleeping?
And then place a few on him so that when he goes back to town, whatever is driving his mind might get him to infect other people.
No, it won't affect.
well, it
other
didn't
people.
seem,
It would have affected us.
at least the way that it did with Calidor, that it's not like he had kind of particularly fine control, right? If the thing had really fine control, it would have told Calidor, wait until you've got a chance to ambush Elanion alone and then get him.
No, just brainstorming.
Right.
But that's
That's a good way. So if we fight a group, we don't have to kill them all. If you can knock a couple unconscious with your color spray, we frickin' force feed them some of this fish shit while they're out, and then we leave them. They're the three survivors of the group, and then they get back and they're like, have a little dream at night. I want to kill the wizard.
It's a good idea.
And then when we hear a ruckus in the campsite, that's when we attack. While they're causing the diversion for us, attacking their wizard, that's when we frickin' go in and boom, we hit them.
Sounds like a good idea to me. We should take all those strings and tie them into a cohesive plan now.
Okay. So attack. Water patrol.
Plan A, kill gnolls. Plan B, do not be killed by the gnolls.
Are those concurrent plans?
Those are two separate halves to the whole plan. And only by aligning the two halves do we have a good plan. One half without the other half is no plan at all.
Nice.
Apparently Cameron likes our plan. He said that's so brutal.
Oh, nice, Cam. Nice. Awesome. Okay, so then, guys, why don't we... it sounds like you guys have a plan. We'll communicate it to the other guys on Discord. But it sounds like, am I right, the first thing you're going to do is to ambush that water patrol.
Yeah.
That's definitely our
Okay.
first.
So what else? And is the plan to hide roughly where you guys were before, and then attack them as they're coming in, or are you planning on letting them get there and then attacking them as they're heading out?
Heading out's better because then they're burdened by the water.
Yeah, but they have to go past us if we're hiding in the same area.
Yeah.
Right.
True, and they might
Unless we
smell
get
us.
lucky and they're already at the water,
Yeah.
Also,
we have to go in place, hide, hope they don't see us as they go past
Or
us,
smell us.
and then or smell us, and then they come back to attack them. And they just have to drop the water jugs and pull out their weapons, which doesn't take very long,
Yeah.
No.
as we know, because it doesn't take very long for us.
and if we attack them in the same spot, that's likely like there'll been signs of struggle even if they couldn't find the bodies, right? There'll be like blood on the grass and stuff like that.
Well, just
somebody
the
will
whole earth will be like weird.
Yeah, they'll be. So if they're going to a place where their buddies probably got killed, they're going to be alert. But if we catch them halfway through, then they won't be. They'll be like, okay, we got to pay attention when we get closer to the water.
So
Yeah.
the plan then is to attack them while they're on their way to the water, or to
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So like you said before, go there when it's dark, set yourselves up, and then wait for them to come.
Yes.
Okay.
And then if somehow we can leave a few alive with color spray or whatever, we'll feed them the fishy potions.
I may just do a sleep instead, but I don't know.
Well, let's.
Just
We don't
like
have to
color spray
decide
your
now,
team.
but let's decide before Wednesday, because
Yeah.
it'd be nice to know what the actual plan is.
Well, that way I can set up the map and we can have that play
Oh,
out.
I meant so that when Dorman accidentally hits one of us, we know which spell it is.
Hey, last time when I did that, I didn't do that.
that
So,
was his successful
Last
use
ambush, I used it successfully.
Yeah.
And saved Calidor's life.
All right.
Calidor, but, so another thing to consider, this fishy potion concept is Bergour made his save.
Yep. So not all the gnolls may necessarily get.
Even if we force feed it to 3 guys, they might all make their saves and they might not do anything. But
Yep.
Well, it's an idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be aware that there's a chance it doesn't work.
Well, if they don't start smelling like fish immediately, coup de grace.
Well, it took a while for it to take effect on Calidor.
Yeah, he had to sleep, right?
Yeah, he had
Dorman was distracted when that happened, so he doesn't remember.
He was invisible. All right. Then, guys, so each of you, no one spent any astonishing fortune tonight, because I don't think we rolled any dice tonight.
We
We rolled some test dice to try out our new weapons.
identified some stuff.
Yeah, so congratulations
Yeah,
on the new gear. Wow.
We chopped up some trees in camp. It was pretty good.
I think I rolled that Wednesday night after the session too, like just to make sure I knew what the loot was for it, and I was just like, fucking +4, bunch of bullshit.
Thank you.
Yeah, but how does it stack up to the bullshit of hundreds of gnolls that we
Yeah.
have to?
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't like.
Well, and with using dungeon grappling as well too, like
No.
shields don't do shit against
Yep.
grappling, so if they adopt a different approach, it's gonna be
Yep.
If an
Yeah.
extra planar creature tries to attack me with natural attacks, guess what? Doesn't work. Remember that. I gotta remember that. Gotta have protection from evil on when I try to get grappled by an extra planar creature.
Nice. Come and get me. Come and get me a hug.
And then, like Pathfinder, that's like summon creatures that come in. If they're like gated here for some reason, you're still gonna get hit.
Yeah, it's a little more. Well, this works differently in this than it does in Pathfinder. So
Yeah, I know
okay.
in second edition you could cast protection from evil on yourself, gate in a demon, and he just totally ignore you and go kill something else. So I don't know.
I mean, what it kills is not necessarily under your control, though. So you're like, I'm fine. Eat all my allies.
Well, that's for when we're level 20 and we're burning the place down. Remember?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, there's Bruce Hurd did an interesting breakdown of how fast you go up in levels, like assuming the like XP awards and shit like that. And it's interesting that AD&D actually had one of the higher turnarounds, like one of the faster accelerations for early levels. For not, it doesn't necessarily carry on, but like not quite as fast as 5e, the way it intentionally designs, like get your first level after one session or so, get your second level after the next one. But it's an interesting breakdown, and it also, like for BX, it takes a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeesh. Okay, so then guys.
Although there's also the element. It seems like the way that a lot of the stuff is going with modern games is towards milestone advancement, at least with published stuff.
Yeah.
So that kind of messes with the math too. So
It's
I don't
totally,
know.
yeah, because you're not playing in the same way as you did. Although, we were talking before we went live. We were talking about Starfinder again too. I think those Starfinder adventures are pretty fucking great because they cap out a lot of them at like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So like you get to spend a little bit of time at those different levels, and it only took us. It only took us like maybe 2 months to get the first module done, and that was playing once every 2 weeks. So like you get through them pretty quickly. That's obviously not like, I'm not concerned about getting through the material quickly, but if you are inclined to just get story done, that's it's a pretty quick way of getting through that. You can get through it pretty quickly. Carl's almost done. Carl started only playing, I think, like midway last year, and he's almost done the Dead Sons adventure path.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's made really good progress. Anyway, let's talk about your characters, though. In Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, the game we're playing, you guys gained tonight 950 XP. Once again, those +4 weapons, pretty fucking good. Those +4 bonuses give you a lot of XP when you find them.
Question, does that apply to like Thieves' Loot? That's only for gold, right, for Thieves' Loot?
Only gold, yeah.
Okay.
You don't get any gold stuff. This is just XP from...
I assume casting Identify twice gives me bonus experience, right?
Yep. What is it, 100 in total?
100 each, yeah.
Okay. Yep, so...
Okay.
And then, down. I think that is... Yeah, that's that. I've included your Astonishing Fortune name with that as well, too. So, at least it wasn't a +5 defender. Very, very true, Stephen. Very true. Plus, I just wait till I introduce to the guys. I introduce them to the Disenchanter monster. It's awesome. So for those listening at home, although it's funny because the ring is the first time that I've actually I can't even think of a time when I've taken magic items away before, and I didn't intend that. It's just the way the story kind of went. You guys were really pissed off when that ring went away, so it's good to know.
I don't think any of us were that pissed off about losing the ring, though. I think it was how we lost it.
Okay.
Or for Bergour at least. Bergour's pissed offness was about how he lost it, not losing the magic ring, because he wouldn't use it anyway.
Right. It was because of the way that What's-His-Nose did it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, we didn't like that guy very much.
Fuck Lord Carmen. That's great. All right. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 47. We are inching our way towards 50. Guys, whew, feels like, so it's 3 sessions. That means Wednesday is going to be 48. Friday will be 49. That means Wednesday will be our 50th session.
And it'll be training.
Well, we'll see if you guys can get... Yeah, I mean, a 4-hour session is a lot of time to get a fight in. So, yeah. And I'll tell you...
Assuming there's only one fight.
Well, then I'll tell you that the Gnolls are putting up those towers probably for a reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
they're
So,
trying to find us, spy us out.
It's like hanging siege towers.
Yeah, like once they've constructed.
Think of a siege tower, just like drop it over the side and have your guys running through down to the bottom instead of running up to the top.
Yep.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, all right. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 47. We hope you enjoyed. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. I've fallen behind a little bit this week, but it's been a very busy week for me at the day job. I will be getting caught up this week. It's not true this weekend. I'm going to try this weekend, but probably not. It's going to be working all weekend as well. But I will get back to you at some point. In addition, you can also reach me by email at dungeonmusings@gmail.com and on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Dungeon Musings. You can also find a link in the description of this video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where you can find channels dedicated to this campaign, this game, and a bunch of other, every other game we run on the channel, as well as things we've run on the channel previously, as well as a Find a Group channel, assorted game discussion. We have a channel dedicated to pictures of our pets, so lots of cool stuff you can find. And there's also, if you're just getting into streaming, there's a channel that's dedicated specifically to that, when there's some really good advice about the different virtual tabletops that are available, and like what kind of setups you need in order to get going. So if you're looking to learn more about that, they have that there on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and all the players you see are all active on there too. So you can reach not just me, but everybody else. In addition, there is a, not right now, but starting early next week, we will be kicking off our annual charity annual charity raffle. And this year's raffle is going to have as a grand prize a copy of the Eberron Rising from the Last War Gold Edition box set by Beadle and Grimm. Our very, very generous friends at Beadle and Grimm have donated a brand new copy of that for us to raffle off. And in addition to that, we have a bunch of other cool stuff, like 2 copies of the Astonishing Swordsman and Sorceress Hyperborea core rulebook. There's a book on how the monsters know what they're doing, a really cool book of tactical advice for people running 5th edition D&D, as well as some other neat things like a Skittermander dice bag, and a couple other assorted stuff that we'll throw in for it. All tickets for the raffle benefit the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really amazing charity active in over 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. Last year, we raised over $1,700 for the raffle. We're hoping to beat that this year, in spite of the economic challenges that have come with the pandemic. We're really hoping that this prize, which itself, the brand, if you purchase it new, it's $250 US, and it could be yours for free. I'll pay for the shipping even. And best of all donations for charity raffle tickets, they all go to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. That'll be going live very, very soon, and I'll be recording a video announcing that as well, and then I'll be talking about that on all future things. You'll have plenty of time to get them, but yeah. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So unfortunately, Hobbs had to drop out. I hope everything's okay with Chloe. But for those remaining, John, Arlen, Dave, and Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. And I'll say as well, in the description of the video, there's also a link to our Redbubble store and to our Patreon. And I want to say, once again, a massive thank you to our patrons who have helped us supply copies of the Player's Handbook to now 5 of our players. We greatly appreciate your support and for putting up with the ads that come with these things now. Yeah, John just got his yesterday, I guess?
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. He got his yesterday. Arlen got the day before. Jeff got his, I think, that same day, too. So it's very... we are very, very grateful for you helping us to say little thank yous to the players who play in these games. So with that, guys, let's call it to an end. That's Dave's birthday present from last year. So... awesome. So then, once again, for those listening at home, thank you for joining us. We hope, if you're listening to this live or contemporaneous to the recording, that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. And until we see you again,